Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we live in. Somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandemic, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye, we don't need him. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard. You and all go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg is suck thick with that stop and frisk. Bitch, you ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, they get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me.
I'm talking about shout it going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the pump for the water like the 7-millimeter. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. Make them happy because man make them dark. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world.
I'm talking about shout it going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Greetings, Black family, greetings. Looks like we're back. Yes, we are back, y'all. We are back. We are back. So we were gone for like a day or so. We were supposed to do a show yesterday. We didn't end up doing it. So we are back again with a brand new episode. Season 4, episode 20, part 1 of the Frontline Black News. And I'm your host, cMen Crewman. And on this episode, we'll be discussing several things. Of course, the first thing that we're going to be discussing is the tangibles. This is the year and the decade of tangibles. So continue to mass up intangible for your vote, Black family, all the way up to 2100. Then the next thing that we're going to be discussing is Kamala says no press conference until after the convention. So the DNC Democratic National Convention starts this week, tomorrow, and Kamala, Scamala, Kumala, whatever the hell her damn name is, says no press conference until after the convention. Then the mainstream, or as we call them, the lamestream media, continue to lie about VP Kamala Harris to deceive Black voters. Yep, we told y'all. And then the next topic is USDA gives Black farmers money to other minorities. That's why we get on the malign neglect and the broad ambiguous language. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson for bringing that to our attention. Then we got Black American men are being villainized for not supporting VP Kamala Harris. I know firsthand because I get villainized just about every day by other Black people for not supporting Kamala. And Kamala is not Black. She's East Indian Brahmin. That's not Black. And continuing on, Black U.S. military veteran receives $23 in food stamps, while migrants receive thousands in benefits. That's a damn shame. We're going to go over it. Then straight-laced Black men know there's no place for us in the Democratic Party. Yep, that's why I left the Democratic Party over 10 years ago. Donald Trump, or the dump as in human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear, suggests he might flee to Venezuela if Kamala Harris wins. God forbid she wins. We're going to be done. Like, we're already in a state of emergency right now, Black family. If Kamala wins, we're done. You can stick a fork in us. We are going to be done as a people in this country. So all y'all that keep telling us to go vote for Kamala Harris, if she wins, that's gonna be all y'all fault, and y'all gonna be complaining and belly aching and all of that like y'all was when Obama was in office and he wasn't doing nothing to stop the race soldiers from killing our people. So In fact, he passed more blue lives murder protection laws. But y'all, you're just happy to see a black face in a high place. Didn't mean that blackface has to do nothing for your black ass. You're just happy to see him in a high place. So y'all think y'all gonna try to run the same game on us in 2024? It's not happening. And this broad is not even black. She's cosplaying as black. And of course, last but certainly not least, happy birthday to the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. He would have been 136 years old as of yesterday. He passed at age 52. For y'all that don't know, he died in London, England. And this is the third year in a row we haven't had our annual Marcus Garvey Day in Denver, Colorado, which is really sad, because we carried that on for, from what, 2012 to 2020, so eight years we kept the Marcus Garvey Day celebrations going here in Denver, Colorado. So hopefully we can bring those back, but only time will tell on that. So those are the topics, Black family. So I'm waiting on Shabaka and Lady Che. Shabaka's supposed to be in here. It's been 15 minutes, so Shabaka should be on here. And what do you mean? What does this mean? It means tap in. I hate when people send me weird messages like, what do you mean? What does this mean? It means tap into the show. Like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. Oh yeah, by the way, we got our channel back. They keep striking our channel from like 2021, 2022 behind the jabby jab. So we got the channel back. So hopefully we can keep it and not get another strike. We will see. You know, they striking us every day behind the stupidest stuff. But the people that put the most ridiculous stuff out on YouTube don't never get flagged, don't never get shadow banned, and they definitely don't get their channel struck. So that just lets you know who's running PeepTube. So I'm gonna get us started. Shabaka and Lady Che are coming in. So back in 2020, or actually 2019, our good brother Tariq Nasheed came up with the hashtag Tangibles2020. And in it, he was detailing everything that we, meaning the foundational Black Americans, descendants of American child slavery freedmen, we're going to demand from the two-party system. So nothing has changed, Black family, except the year. Everything else remains the same. So I'm going to read this like I read it every episode, or part one of every episode, for the past 4 years. It'll be 4 years. Yeah, we're going on 4 years. Wow. So the 2020, so instead of 2020, it's the 2024 presidential elections, but everything else remains the same. So the 2024 presidential elections are coming up. We're less than, 2 months away? Or less than 3 months away from the 2024 presidential elections. And foundational Black Americans are going to reject the 50-year-old malign neglect policy that has been implemented by the political system. This malign neglect policy mandates that Black Americans should be ignored and only mentioned in vague and non-specific terms, lumping foundational Black Americans in the groups of minorities, immigrants, people of color, BIPOC, downtrodden, underserved, underprivileged, impoverished, whatever, has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. In this election cycle, meaning the 2024 election cycle, Black Americans are going to insist that our needs are specifically met by politicians who are seeking our vote. Foundational Black Americans want tangible benefits, specifically for us. We do not want trickle-down, secondary benefits that are provided for every group. Every group has not been systematically marginalized and disenfranchised in every area of society. That's foundational Black Americans. So we refuse to be lumped in with groups who often assist in the exploitation and disenfranchisement of Black Americans. So politicians, excuse me, it's getting late, y'all. So politicians must offer tangibles, specifically the foundation of Black Americans, or we simply will not vote for them. Be sure to spread this message far and wide on social media using the hashtag Tangibles2020. And we've been doing exactly that, spreading that message far and wide on social media for the past 4 years, actually 5 years now. And it's definitely starting to catch on. The newest hashtag is No Tangibles, No Vote 2024. We're going to demand something tangible. So, tangible 2024, all the way up to 2100. We're going to continue to demand something tangible for a vote. And when we're talking about tangibles, we're talking about something that's real, something substantive, something you can count, measure, i.e., a check, i.e., reparations. Um, that's $1 gazillion now that is owed. The foundation of Black Americans, the people that built this country, the descendants of such, we are owed a debt, a blood debt that's going to be paid. Otherwise, the Democrats are just going to continue to, or going to start losing election cycles. And we don't care all the same blaming and explaining, all the fear mongering, all of that is not going to change that. So we have said since day one, this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint. So we in it for the long haul. We said this was going to be a generational fight our first season, and we have remained consistent on that for the past 3 going on 4 years. So again, any politician that's seeking your vote, including myself, because I am a candidate on the ballot for Colorado State House of Representatives, District 8, and that is the district that I live in right now. And I'm the only Black candidate on the ballot. It's just me and the colonizer. So y'all need to support me if you want to preserve anything that's left of Black Denver. But if this white girl gets in, you can kiss whatever is left of Black Denver goodbye. So, and that's not no fear mongering. That's just the truth. Like, these Democrats mean that's no good. Under their leadership, we have lost so much. But y'all want us to go out and vote blue no matter who? No, those days are over. My generation is saying, the hell with all of that. You want our vote? You're going to have to do something tangible for us. So, including myself, demand something tangible for your vote. And when we say tangible, that's reparations. That's policy specifically to our people, to our specific ethnic group. And they say you can't do nothing specifically for no group. They did something specifically for the Asians. They did something specifically for the small hats. They did something specifically for the LGBTQIA plus or whatever the fuck. Alphabet Mafia. They did something specifically for them. But they can't do nothing specifically for us. But they want us to go out and vote. Vote for what? What are we voting for? We're not getting nothing tangible for our vote, but yet y'all want us to go out and vote blue no matter who. Vote blue down ballot and all this madness. What are the Democrats promising us? Nothing. What are the Republicans promising us? Nothing. But you just want us to keep doing the same old thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That is insanity. And we're going to end the insanity this election cycle. So I don't know why nobody's tapped in, but hopefully they start tapping in. They be lying saying nobody's viewing and people be viewing. So yeah, so that's the tangibles. Tangibles 2024 all the way up to 2100. Let me check on Shabaka. Shabaka said he was gonna be on here, and it's been 15 minutes, so Shabaka should be popping on here any second. There he is. Oh, it's Lady Che. Greetings, Lady Che.
Hey.
I was just finishing up with the tangibles. I just read the tangibles 2020 passage like I've been doing for the past 3, almost 4 years. And I was just telling our people, continue to demand something tangible for your vote. It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. We've been saying that since day one. So, yeah. What do you have to contribute to the tangibles?
And then I just got in. I encourage everybody to listen to, to the Black Authority tonight.
Yes.
He had an excellent build or
Yes, you
excellent
did.
broadcast. And the last little bit was pretty moving. So yeah, um, he's been saying what we've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, consider the demands tangible for your vote. Um, we're not gonna stop. So it's just gonna get worse and worse. We're gonna keep just banging the drum harder and harder. So you know, hold your vote or demand tangibles. So that's
Right.
all.
Well, hold it down a sec, cause Shabaka's supposed to be joining us, and I don't know if he fell asleep or what. So I'm gonna check on him real quick. Just tell him what you always tell him. Hold your vote like you hold whatever.
Hold your vote like you hold your swallow. And men, um, the ladies hold your vote like you would hold your baby. Or you hold yourself. Don't give it up for nobody. Technically, don't even seem to really matter how many votes you give up, because it's all really in the hands of the electoral college, and the delegates. Um, and it's a big waste of money. I mean, it's just like I said, like um, TBA covered it. They'd rather spend all this money to get out a vote versus 10 million to fix the problem.
Right. And
Yeah.
the thing about them electors and those delegates, that's not public knowledge. They
Mm-mm,
don't disclose who those people are.
mm-mm,
Like I'm an independent. I'm an elector for Cornell West,
mm-hmm.
but nobody would know that unless I told them.
Right.
So each state has their own electors for each political party, and
That's a waste of money
that's
though.
not public knowledge. Oh, there's the Black Cat. Shabaka is joining us. Greetings, Shabaka from the Mile High Income City.
Yeah, what's happening from Sin City? What's
I
going
Chewbacca.
on with
No,
Just finishing up with the
tangibles.
tangibles. Shabaka?
Tangibles.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was on Black Power Radio earlier with Dynamite, you know what I'm saying? And with that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It should
How are
be.
they
Yeah.
doing?
Oh, they're doing all right, man. It was off the hook, but once again, they doing to them what these motherfuckers do to us, man, and they fucking shadow banning us, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
Not
is
giving
real.
us the fucking huh?
This is real. They took off our show, We the People show. Um, they took off the
No,
RVA.
Lady J, all pro black media is that they shadow banning because I think Jay Dizzle is going through this
Yeah.
bullshit too.
They just did
Now,
a whole video about it earlier too.
Mhm.
yeah, and then of course with Dynamite, you know, he had a good group of folks on there, man. And then of course, you know, me and the other brother, man, we got to talking about this raggedy ass, excuse my language, Lady J, this raggedy ass ghetto gagging bitch Kamala Harris. You see what I'm saying? So people is telling me and my family I'm nuts, but I love my family. But keep in mind, my family's from Chicago, okay? So that
Yeah.
part right there, okay?
Yeah, I got family from
City of
Chicago
Chicago,
too.
yeah,
They
city of
just said did
Chicago,
they
okay,
forget that she was not a well liked politician for like fucking the last 3 years. All of a sudden we singing her praises. You're not wrong, Shabaka. We should still stay on this
nah,
broad.
Kamala Harris ain't shit. She fucked over
Right.
black people in the state of California as the attorney general and the district attorney of San
Right.
Francisco County.
Right. And we about
And
to
I'm
dive
willing to
into
bet,
all of that, Shabaka. So
yeah,
you
Mm-hmm.
she
came
ain't
at the
shit.
perfect
And I
time.
said it.
Yes.
Right.
We're gonna discuss all that
We're gonna
tonight.
stop
So
talking shit now because they like her.
just
Fuck
hold
that.
that energy, y'all. We gotta get through the topics. But yeah, those are definitely the topics. So we bust a crumb bum on Kamala and all of her
Mm-hmm.
fuckery that she's been doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just want your thoughts on the tangibles real quick, Shabaka, so we can move to the next topic.
No, yes, sir.
But thank you
Tangibles,
for
you know
joining
what
us.
I'm. Yeah, yes, sir. Okay. Greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shabaka Sankor coming to you from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. All Peckerwoods. It's 91 degrees out here. Bring your lily white asses out here and sit in the sun with me. And I will prove you that we are not the same number. I think we're going to be about 107. All right. The tangibles is definitely needed. We up there at 1 sextillion
No, one
dollar.
gazillion. It's a
One
gazillion.
gazillion. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a gazillion. And we're putting interest
So
on the
that's
shit.
that's $1,000 trillion. That's what that is.
Yes, sir. Is because for 3 reasons that me and Double R was talking about on Black Power Radio, man. It's because the damn Federal Reserve or white America went and
Well, we
stole
covered
the
that.
money from the
Yeah.
Freedmen's Bureau
Yep.
and they started the Federal Reserve. So look at all the goddamn money that them no good bastards have been making too, man. And plus that, and as you know, it's the Federal Reserve that sets the prime lending interest rate, which is the cheapest interest rate, you know, for its major
Yeah, and what
corporate
made it so
borrowers.
bad, Shabaka, they wouldn't even let the black families, freedmen that put their money in that bank get the money out before they closed it down.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. See that part right there. You see what I'm saying? You know, that part right
Yeah, we
there.
covered that
So
in
that,
we covered that, I want to say, on episode 18. We had covered
mhm.
that in depth in the 3 parts that we did. It's probably the
Right.
first or second part, because Uncle Phil Scott went over that in vivid detail, and then Kamala, he played the speech of Kamala talking about she was gonna give the money to the other groups.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, so you know, this is all working backwards. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now are you able to share this here, man, to the Shabaka's Black Experience page?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
please share this because you know, for some odd
But we
reason,
got
I
our
can't.
channel back. We got our channel back because they struck Frontline Black News, so we're back on our regular channel.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. And then hit the YouTube with it as well, or too, if you can. Okay, first place, ladies and gentlemen, you know, out of California where I used to live, Kamala Harris is dangerous. Okay, now what's going to happen is a lot of our people are going to be voting for her by default. Okay, because you can't have the orange bastard. That's not an option.
Why
Okay,
can't
you
we?
can't have him.
Why?
Huh?
Why isn't that an
Was
option?
Okay, it's because the orange bastard man is coming with this Project 2025.
No,
Okay, now you
Shabaka, that's fear
okay,
mongering. We've
but hold
already
on.
covered all of that.
Oh,
We've already
okay, but
covered
just
that.
hold on. Okay, all right, but just hold on, no, brother Che. It is not so much the dump as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way. It is the fervor that this son of a bitch is creating out across the country. Okay, so with him, man, was getting ready to happen with
Not a
old
new
Shady,
fervor, Shabaka. Like you said, like
huh?
it's something new. Like all it's
Oh no,
doing
no,
is
no, no.
just reinvigorating what we've been saying exists
Mm,
in this country with the
okay,
anti-black hatred. Like all it's doing
exactly.
is all his base is basically the people that we're talking about, like that
Yeah,
hate
well,
us,
pretty much.
hate anything that look
Mm-hmm.
like us, and want us
Mm-hmm.
eradicated. So why are we
Yes,
mad when the
sir.
wolf is showing that he's actually a wolf and
Yeah. In
not a
other
wolf
words, he's taking off.
clothing?
Yeah, he's taking off. Yeah, he's taking off the sheep's clothing. Okay, that
Right.
made sense. I'd much rather deal with the wolf as opposed to the wolf in
And
sheep's clothing.
historically, when we were dealing with the wolf, we were more organized because we had to be.
Uh, yeah, yeah, we did. We did that out of necessity and seeing. So what had happened, brother Che, is that during this disco pro integration period, the late '70s and all through the '80s, you see that's where we fell at by the wayside at. See what I
Well,
mean?
Professor Black
Uh,
Truth just laid it out. Unfortunately, it was your generation that
Yeah, yeah, I
put
know,
us in the
I know.
situation that we're in right now.
I know, because what had happened was in my generation, brother Che, these motherfuckers got complacent, and they thinking
Mm-hmm.
that we had overcame, when in actuality, man, they were setting us up again. Okay, so then what
Mm-hmm.
came after that for the setup, man, was the crack epidemic. All right,
Yep.
mass incarceration that old Biden signed into law. Well, he pushed
Mm-hmm.
it. Slick Willie signed it into law. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then
And every
the
crime
final,
bill, and that wasn't the only
yeah.
crime bill. Shabaka, every crime bill since 1972. That was
Oh yes,
Biden's
sir.
bill.
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely. Now, in 1972, is that there was the start of the dismantling of the Black empowerment movement. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
okay, it's
also when
because
Nixon started that war on poverty, which is
yeah,
really a war
exactly.
on black people.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, how they emphasized on the welfare system is that, well, the black woman with the kids can get the welfare, but they got to put the man out the house. So,
Yeah, that's what
what is this?
Claudine was about.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then quite naturally, of course, when they had the great migration coming up from the South,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? There, the 40s, the 50s.
1920s to 1960s, I believe.
Yes, sir. Okay, so when they try to go to cities like Detroit,
I'm
Chicago,
eating that bread and
Milwaukee,
meat from the freezer, Jesse.
You need what?
Eating that bread and meat from the freezer.
You're eating that bread and meat from the freezer?
Right.
Okay, that was just super random, but okay.
I don't know what kind of meat it is, but eating it.
Okay, I think it might be plant based. I'm not 100% sure, but okay.
The one in the Ziploc.
uh,
Oh, yeah, that's plant based. You talking about the meatballs?
No, the ones that look like um country fried steak or whatever.
Oh, you're supposed to put that in the new way. I hope you put it in the new way.
I put it in the microwave.
Ugh, it came out all right.
Yeah, it's pork.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat pork, but this is that. I didn't know it was pork until it's already too late, Valley. Now we armpit deep. So going back, but I haven't eaten pork since I converted. Really, it's very rare, very rare.
Yeah, she just reminded me of a documentary. Our nephew is 16, y'all. Celebrated
Mm-hmm.
his sweet 16 this weekend, and I was over at my
okay.
sister's house yesterday, Sister Bianca, and
hmm
we watched this documentary called "They're Trying to Kill Us."
hmm
On what
Yeah,
channel?
they ain't trying, they doing it.
They
No,
doing it?
but that's the name of the. That's I know they're doing it, but that's the name of the documentary. They're
Oh,
trying to
okay.
kill us. It's basically the Black Supersize Me. Anybody remember Supersize Me? We talked about the horrors of the fast food industry. Um,
Mm.
it's basically the black version of it, and there's several big name hip hop artists in it too.
Okay, so they on puppet
What
strings
was it
pushing this
on?
bullshit. And that's what
Netflix?
Ken Adams was saying
It's on
about the damn
YouTube, Lady J.
GMOs.
Oh, mhm.
And that's what Dr. Ken Adams was talking about a few years ago, about how they're targeting us with these GMOs, black women in particular, on the
Yeah, they want. That's what caused that
reproductive,
diabetes shit. What are
Not
you
just
supposed to
all
eat?
kind of shit.
not just diabetes,
What are you supposed to eat like that? Everybody know
heart
we ain't supposed to eat like
disease,
that. Mm-hmm.
hypertension,
Clogging of the arteries, strokes,
Mm-hmm.
strokes, heart
yeah,
attacks,
yeah, all
And now
that, you
it's
see.
worse.
And
Um, like food deserts.
cancer.
But I don't know what to teach
hmm
us how we should eat now with food deserts and lack of resources to like the nearest community garden for me is maybe uh 8 blocks in both directions.
No, you got one right down the street.
Uh-uh.
On Delmar, there's a
Yeah, it's
community garden.
Belmar, but look where I'm at.
Yeah,
And
you're in.
the nearest one really is by the park, across from the park.
That's what I'm
Um,
talking about, Lady J. That's the one on Delmar.
no, the other park, the opposite direction. Clinton, Chester Clinton. It's on Beeler, I believe, or Akron or whatever, in one of those apartments where the bus stop is, where the first 105 is, right before
Oh,
Beeler. You know, like you
that's
turn
right
down my
on
street.
Yosemite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you go down that street, on the street, I think it's that. Yeah, it's that street. A little further into the parking lot is a motherfucking community garden. But you would never know unless you drive by during the day.
On Akron? Yeah.
Yeah, in the alley, you only get to it through the alley.
Mm. I used to live on Akron back in the 90s, but I know it's changed a lot since then. Hey, yeah, we got broken
Okay, and
into.
then and then to find out, man, you remember when we was talking about those 5G towers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've been talking
Okay,
about the
do you know
5G towers since 2019.
yeah, and do
Yeah.
you know, man, I finally came across one. They got one in this goddamn parking lot, man, of where the fuck I'm at.
They got one right next door to me, literally right next door to me. That's why
Yeah.
when they do shows at the Black House, the internet is going in and out because ever since they put that goddamn 5G tower up, it's
Oh
like
yeah, and
literally
then
right next to the Chick-fil-A. Like there's a Chick-fil-A right next to where I live, and the
okay,
5G
and then
tower is right there.
okay, and then just like what I was speaking with Sheikh Imam Akbar and what have you
But we got to
earlier
move
this
to the
evening.
next topic, y'all. So, yeah, are y'all done with the tangibles? Finish with that, Shabaka, and I got to move to the next topic.
Okay, all right, and what it is, man, is that these 5G towers, man, like I showed you in Los Angeles, man, they got them, concentrated in the hoods. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So they're getting a double whammy with it. You see what I'm
I
saying?
still got a 5G tower in front of my godmother's shop
Yeah, you
that
see,
we've been
and it's
protesting for
T-Mobile.
5 years.
And then keep in mind, it's T-Mobile that's trying to corner the market on this shit too. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
T-Mobile was one of the. It's T-Mobile, AT&T, and another carrier. I want to say Verizon.
Okay, but all of them in cahoots together, as you know, is because do
Yeah,
you
they're
know
a
what?
monopoly. They're a
Yeah,
monopoly, just like Google.
yeah, yeah, and then keep in mind is that these corporations they buy what they call fully accumulative participating stocks on a stock market. See, this is the shit they don't let the general public know. So, which means
Yeah,
is,
and
man,
at
if
one
you're a
time you could get
motherfucker,
those stocks super cheap. I do
yeah,
remember
and
some people. I think I
okay,
do know
now if
some
you're a
people that got
motherfucker
some
like
of
okay, if you're a motherfucker like Jeff Bezos, right? Okay, he's
that.
got stock in Amazon. Then of course you know he's got stock in Google. He's got stock in the StreamYard. In other words, man, he's got stock in all those tech firms there up there in the gay area. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So he ain't never gonna go broke. Somebody estimated, man, for that son of a bitch to go broke, man, he would need 500 years to spend his money, and that is too much goddamn money for one motherfucker to have.
Could you imagine a trillionaire, Shabaka?
Yeah, we'll say, or he's up there in the high billions, close to a trillionaire. Now, another thing to be advised that I just came across, man, in my research, they're getting ready to hit Africa, man, with another,
They already
uh,
have. They already have. They
yeah,
got the
with
monkeypox
the
out right
monkeypox.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but
So,
Shabaka, you keep taking us on these tangents. I mean, I appreciate it, but we got to stay on topic. So, we
all right.
were talking about the tangibles. You said what you said about the tangibles, so we're gonna move on to
Oh,
Kamala.
yes, sir. Okay, yeah. Now the reason for the tangibles is because they parlayed that money, man, off the damn slave trade. Okay, I don't give
Mhm,
a fuck about no Irish. I don't give a fuck
mhm,
about any other goddamn group. Is because our
mhm.
people are in a state of emergency. This illusion of inclusion is putting us on a plane on a fucking nosedive to crash out in the middle of the fucking desert. And then what they're gonna do? They're gonna start shipping all these homeless people us primarily out here to this
Mhm.
goddamn desert, man, and they're gonna shut the water off. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping I'm wrong as hell. I would love to be wrong on that one. I
How are
really
you
would.
only? How are we only 4% of the state of California, but make
Huh?
up 50% of the unhoused neighbors?
Yeah,
and what?
exactly.
The prisoners,
Uh-huh.
like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it makes sense, Brother Che. It's the hidden agenda that they have for us. You
Yeah.
see? And this is why they get these celebrities out here to endorse this bullshit. Okay, just like with Kamala, there in Chicago, everybody's out there supporting Kamala. They got
Yes,
the
about
Obamas
the
there.
DNC is this week, and like
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
be
and they got the Obamas
it's a
showing up.
remind. It could be a repeat of 1968.
Oh yes, sir. Oh, by the way, keep in mind the Chicago police is already, man, on a heavy alert.
Yeah, I already watched the
Already,
interview
they're
of the
on.
top cop saying
Yeah,
how
yeah.
he was on, how
Yeah,
they were on high
and
alert.
it's a yeah, yeah, and it's a coon. It's a coon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They
it is a
always got a
coon.
damn coon. Yeah, it's a fucking
Mm-hmm.
coon. You know what I'm saying? But keep in
What
mind,
they dubbed
Chicago
him the
has
top
certain
cop of
traditions.
Chicago.
Yeah, and keep in mind is that
And
Chicago
who
has
else
certain
got the top
traditions.
cop? Who else got named the top cop?
Who else got named as a top cop?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Kamala. Kamala.
Oh, yeah. The Attorney General is the top cop in any state. They're the chief law enforcement officer. The Attorney General is. Hmm. Yeah.
Correct. But she got dubbed the top cop of California.
Yeah, which she was. She was the Attorney General before she was
Mm-hmm.
the Senator, before she was the Vice President. Hmm.
Her conviction rates were what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And I'm of the opinion that a lot of those cases were fabricated, like due process. You see what I'm saying? That's why I wish we had Sarge's ass up here.
oh my God. We got to get
Mm.
Sergeant's actual contact information. So moving
Oh,
along,
oh,
because Blacc just like to keep us on these tangents. But moving along, Kamala says no press conference until after the convention. So she don't want to
yeah.
meet with the press until after the convention. I wonder why. So
Yeah, and
let's
keep in mind she's going to be the last speaker because they're going to have those Sambos up there. They're going to have a couple
mm,
other Democrat motherfuckers, and then of course,
Democratic
when she,
feel.
yeah, and then when they hand her the nomination, which they're going to do, then she's going to make her speech, and then the presidential race is on. Okay, now the thing is that these dump supporters, okay, the only thing I can say is fuck each and last every one of you, and the dump himself, as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear.
Well, I have the same sentiment for both parties. But yeah, you
Yeah,
damn
oh,
dumb
I can
supporters, y'all better
understand that,
get your boy, because he's fucking up
huh?
royally. Like, he could have walked. He could have walked into the White House. Now, the stuff that him and JD Vance and the people around him have been doing is really messing it up for the dump. And now
Hmm.
he got to go to court on the 18th of September.
Yeah, and all those charges, he's gonna beat them. You know it, I know it, he knows it because he's got. Hey,
We got
hey
Mac
Mac
285 in the
285.
building.
Yeah, greetings to you.
We're
And then
back on
keep
our
in
regular
mind,
channel. We're
yep,
back.
and then also too, Jesse Parrish. That's the only one who I'm voting for any political office if I'm eligible.
Oh, thank you.
Rest of these motherfuckers can kiss my ass because they full of shit. Okay.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying that, man, because when you get my age, man, and you see the same bullshit, man, for the last 40 goddamn years, and it's the same fucking thing. Vote Democrat, no matter who. Vote Democrat, dude. Vote Democrat, the reptilians, man, this, that, there, the other, man. I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
goddamn couch, man. I
Well,
can't do it no more, man. I
to the
can't do it no
Cornell
more,
West
man.
house
Professor,
for
and
me.
this is the moment of truth.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
You know, there's a saying that relationships start the way that they tend to go. What that means is whatever a person does at the start of the relationship, that's what they're going to keep doing for the rest of it. Everybody knows this, and yet you have so many people who choose to fool themselves and engage in wishful thinking, hoping that the other person will change at some point in the relationship. That rarely ever happens. It's bad enough to engage in that kind of self-delusion when talking about personal relationships, but it becomes catastrophic when you apply the same denialism to elections. This is the reason that so many Black people wasted 8 years hoping Barack Obama would eventually change his tune and start doing things for the very Black voters who put him in the White House. But his refusal to do anything for us on the campaign trail eventually became a refusal to do anything for us in his first term as president. And that prompted a lot of Negroes to start saying, well, wait until he gets reelected. He's got to get reelected first. Then he's going to start doing things for us. And of course, he did less than nothing in his second term. You had the Mother Emanuel Church massacre, the Flint water crisis, and the cops going hog wild, murdering Black civilians in the streets during his second term. And all he did was sing a couple of bars of Al Green. And now we're seeing this same pathetic pattern play itself out with Kamala Harris. And this persistent refusal by Black people to admit to the reality reminds me of another old saying: in order to fool someone, you have to overcome their intelligence. But in order to convince them they've been fooled, you have to overcome their pride. That's the problem. People get emotionally and even spiritually invested in something, and they simply can't admit they've been fooled. So they'd rather look like an idiot than to admit that they were wrong. You have these people who are telling us that we need to vote for Kamala Harris. We're supposed to vote for Kamala Harris, but they can't tell us why. And they can't say that Kamala Harris has promised us anything because she's not saying anything to anyone. More than 3 weeks. That's how long it's been since Kamala Harris became the presumptive nominee for the Democrats. And it's also how long she's gone without holding so much as a press conference, which normally would be the very first thing that a presidential contender would do. But I guess it's because of how disastrously all of her other white media appearances have gone that her handlers are keeping her under wraps. Then again, they got a bigger problem, and that is they got to tell Miss Empty Pantsuit how international politics and domestic affairs works. They're spending a lot of time trying to educate her on those things because she doesn't know anything about it. Smells like Sarah Palin, only without the hockey rink. She's not ready for prime time. They know she's not, so they're hiding her, and her defenders can't claim that she's senile. You're not going to be able to do that one. This is exactly what Richard Nixon did, and if you want the rundown on that one, go back into the archives on this YouTube channel and watch my now classic video, Why Roger Ailes Isn't Going Away. In that video essay, I explained how a then young Roger Ailes was Richard Nixon's media advisor, and how Ailes, realizing Nixon was poison on camera, set up a series of largely scripted, controlled situations, such as town halls, where candidate Nixon could just answer softball questions by people who Roger Ailes planted in the audience. It gave Roger Ailes the ability to totally control the entire presentation. Who gets to sit in the seats, what questions they ask, and who is allowed to ask them. Right now, Kamala Harris is having a little brief honeymoon, and they've forgotten all about how she crashed and burned 4 years ago in her own failed presidential bid. So she's gotten a ton of money that a lot of donors were going to give to Biden, but they've gone ahead and given it to her. There's the claim that she's had a nice little bump in the polls. And at this point, I guess her entire idea is don't screw it up. Well, the problem is when it comes to politics, either you're rising or falling. Right now, she seems to be treading water. Kamala Harris is pursuing the same strategy as Nixon, and she's been doing it for the same reasons. She's no smarter or media savvy than she had been since forever. She has a very hard time answering any sort of questions, and the more questions she has to answer, the worse she gets. Remember, presidential elections in particular are big business for the white media, so they want to milk it for all it's worth. And that being the case, you have the first major Black female candidate to be on the ballot. And because of this historic moment, all of the white media is salivating at the mouth for the opportunity to be the first ones to say, we have the first major interview with her, the first major press conference. And instead, she's saying, I'm not talking to you. In fact, she said that she's not going to be doing any press conferences until after the DNC convention. Now, ain't that odd? So she's stalling and kicking the can down the road. Now, keep in mind, this is the same white media who attacked Donald Trump relentlessly because he was ducking a debate with Joe Biden, allegedly. And then after he accepted the debate and went there and Biden crashed and burned in front of the world, they weren't talking about that anymore. That is until Kamala Harris became the nominee, and then they demanded that he debate her. That's the pattern. If they think that they see a chance to embarrass Trump or something that they can put him on the hot seat for, then they'll demand a press conference with him. And if he doesn't hold a press conference in 2.3 seconds flat, they'll run tons of articles saying that he's in hiding, ducking the media. Clearly, he's terrified. And I'm fine with them calling Trump a coward for hiding from the cameras. But considering the fact that I'm not going to vote for Trump no matter what, he's irrelevant to me. My question is, what's going to be done to force Kamala Harris to face us? When is she going to stop hiding? Or does she think that she'll be able to avoid making any kind of appearance until after the election? Because the way things are going, that clearly seems to be her plan. No matter what she does at the convention or how lackluster her speech is, the white media is going to treat her as if she's the second coming of FDR. But for her to be allowed to go week after week and what is now turned into a month without actually facing the very white media that's been talking about her but has yet to actually talk to her, well, that doesn't exactly inspire confidence. And while for the white media, this is a downer, especially for the white left corner of the media, they don't like the fact that she's not supplying them with material. After all, that 24-hour news cycle isn't going to fill itself, but they're also a bit miffed that they basically have to do her campaign messaging for her. And of course, you got the loyal opposition, the white right media. They're upset that they don't get to throw hand grenades at her. They don't get to make her look like a fool. They don't get to have their shots at her. She's not giving them any material for that either. So they're just recycling that Kamala Harris obviously is scared to talk to anyone. But that's the typical jockeying for position and the typical horse racing in games that you expect from white power.
Yeah.
That doesn't concern us at all.
Right.
The part that ought to bother you, especially you plants and shills in my comment section, is that Kamala Harris isn't talking to the black grassroots at all. And no, the bootlicks like the HBCUs and the NCOBRAs and the National Black Journalists and these other Greek frats and groups, they don't count. They're the untalented 10th. They ought to call themselves what they are, sellouts incorporated. They are absolutely worthless to any meaningful discussion about Black America. They are the enemies of Black society. They're the fifth column, the enemy within, undermining our internal politics.
Who does that
Kamala Harris needs to come and talk to the people, not to the bought and paid for clowns who have spent their lives trying to find a comfortable place under white supremacy. But of course, she's not going to do that. She is herself an invention of white supremacy. Her job is to uphold white supremacy and to be the front person for anti-Black racism. That's what she's running for, and she knows that that's her real job. But unless she comes and talks to the Black grassroots, she cannot claim to legitimately be reaching out to Black voters. But she's not even doing that much. And shouldn't people have a problem with that? Because even if you want to be a cheerleader for her, you can't deny the fact that she's hiding even from her own base, ignorant as they are. She won't even talk to the people who claim that they want to support her because she's so terrified that she'll put both feet in her mouth again. So you got people out here who decide they're trying to big her up. They want her to win. And when you ask them, what has she said that she's going to do for you? They'll tell you she doesn't have to do anything at all. All she has to do is to claim to be a Black woman. And as long as she's not the orange man, she gets their vote. Now, this is where the tethers and the bootlicks show how dangerous they are to the Black community. An undisciplined vote is like a car with no steering wheel. You can try to claim, well, at least it's better than walking, but the truth is you're not going to get very far. For the last 9 years, we've had clowns telling us that if Donald Trump became president, it would be the apocalypse. And when he did win in 2016, the opposite happened. It wasn't a good thing, but it wasn't the end of the world, certainly not the end of ours, because Trump was so openly racist, so over the top with his bigotry, people couldn't hide their heads in the sand anymore. They couldn't deny the reality of the racist society we live in. And worse than that, they actually had to get off their butts and do something. That's what they really fear about Donald Trump. They don't have the ability to hit the snooze button and roll over in bed or to go back to playing video games or watching the latest episode of Tyler Perry's stupidity and then say, well, don't worry, Joe Biden's going to do something. Well, don't worry, Kamala Harris is going to do something. At least for a little while, they don't have the ability to pretend as if they can't get off their butts and do something. They have no choice but to. And a lot of people hate that. Trump and the white supremacist hordes that he unleashed, they did more to force the phrase white supremacy into the national discourse than the Democrats ever did. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a good thing. And his open racism was in large part what helped to bring about the uprisings of 2020. People realized that there was no point in even pretending that they could go to the feds to help rein in the police. So the people had to stand up and the scumbags backed down. Now, what happened when Joe Biden became president? People decided to roll over in bed, hit the snooze button, and they went right back to sleep again. He gave the cops COVID money. He was up here fueling the thugs in blue. And he didn't even pretend as if he was going to demand anything from the police in order to get that money. He didn't hold it over their heads and say, if you want any of this federal money, you got to make these changes. No more qualified immunity. No more cops being allowed to bounce around from department to department. You got to start disciplining. That means firing these guys when they start getting citizens' complaints. And these state boards that certify these thugs in blue, they got to start taking their certifications from them with the first offense. He didn't do any of that. Did not use the federal money as leverage, which is what you're supposed to do. Since only the federal government has the power of the purse, only the federal government has the power to print money. That being the case, whenever somebody wants it, you tell them, well, here's what you got to do in order to get it. And of course, when the police went to the Supreme Court demanding that they not be sued for depriving people of their Miranda rights, Joe Biden took the side of the cops. Sonia Massey was just murdered, and this is on Joe Biden's watch. And the Justice Department that he controls, that your black female candidate serves with, they're not doing anything about it. But then again, this is the same Kamala Harris who did nothing about the murder of Matrice Richardson either. She's not talking about any legislation to outlaw qualified immunity, nothing about laws to put automatic penalties on the police to make it easier to bring civil rights actions against them by citizens, nothing at all. So please tell me, how is this any different than what you claim Project 2025 is going to do? The reality is too many black people are ignorant and too prideful to admit their ignorance, so instead they stubbornly stick to the same talking points. Now, do you think Kamala Harris isn't talking to those white mega donors who have been giving her those hundreds of millions of dollars? You think that she's not talking to them? Hillary Clinton got over $1 billion from those same dark money, or should I say pale money donors back in 2016, and she didn't talk to black voters either. Hillary Clinton totally skipped over going to Detroit in 2016 because she knew what kind of reception she would get. Now, Kamala has wised up just enough to realize that she has to at least dip a toe over the state line into Michigan, but she kept that appearance short and sweet. No questions, no meeting with black groups. She just had yet another stage-managed political production, just like Roger Ailes would do for Richard Nixon back in the day. The times may change, but the lies remain exactly the same. It's real simple, folks. When a candidate won't even talk to you, you sound crazy when you claim that they're going to do something for you, though. The political parties are not responsive to us, and that's a deliberate decision on their part. So we require a deliberate decision on ours. You can't do the same thing you've always done and then say you're going to get a different result somehow. I don't like Donald Trump, and neither should you. This isn't about liking him. This is about changing the political calculus in this country. And you can't do that if you insist on carrying out the same failed political patterns that put you in the same position you're in right now. Notice that the Democratic shills never talk about increasing our own influence with Kamala, or anyone else for that matter. They never talk about what are black people going to be doing so that we can get what we require. The discussion is never about that. Oh, they have no problem talking about the place of women in the political discourse, making sure that women get what they need, or immigrants. Well, America needs more people, and on top of that, we need more diversity. Don't think of them as people who have illegally entered the country. Think of them as diversity. That's the kind of stuff that goes on. With these other groups, it's a matter of, well, we got to talk about what they're going to get. With black people, though, we can't do that. We have to make it clear that the black community has organized its vote and has disciplined its vote. Make it clear that we have interests and demands all our own, and that if you want the black vote, you have to come to us and ask for it. You can't send any surrogates. No vague talk, no weasel words. You must have, as the North Koreans would say, knee-to-knee talks with us. You got to be close enough where we can point the finger right in your face and say, you have not offered us anything. And if somebody sits there and says, I ain't got the time for it, then I ain't got the time to vote for you either. Now, if the shills and the plants that you see in my comment section and that you also see in other places on the internet, if these people were actually honest and serious and honorable, then everything that I've said they would be agreeing with. They'd say, you know what, that does make sense. At the very least, Kamala Harris needs to come and talk to you because of the fact that you are the black community, you're the backbone of the party, you're the base of the party, and you're people who are not planning to vote for Donald Trump. You are persuadable. You're that swing vote. Instead, they're giving excuses, lies, and the old orange man band. Well, it just goes to show one thing. Elections are the political equivalent of an IQ test. And it's ridiculous the number of people who have chosen to flunk it. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Cloudwalker Z, Lisa Taylor, Marcus Doremus, Yasharon Heron, and Onan X. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
That's right, Professor. All right, so that's the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Black Truth. You summed up everything I've been saying for a decade now. Go ahead, Shabaki.
And I've been saying the last 2 decades, you know what I mean? And what it is, the professor dropped knowledge once again, you know what I'm saying? And as I stated before on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, okay, the show is typed up for Tuesday. Brother Che, feel free to go in there and make any changes that you so desire. Also, too, this is even more so for us to emphasize of why we must do for self. You see, period. Economically, educationally, scientifically wise as well too. And I'm mainly speaking about mechanical engineering. And we got to find a way to dismantle those goddamn robots, man, that they're going to be having out here, man, in 2032. You see what I mean? Okay, maybe even early, by the next Olympiad in Los Angeles, you know. And as a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts, man, they're going to be introducing a lot of those fucking robots at the Olympiad in LA for 2 reasons. 1, that's California, where Silicon Valley is. 2, is that the Los Angeles Police Department going to use them for experimentation of how to inflict, you know, their unlawful law and order, their unlawful order.
Well, Shabaka, as you and I know, football season is coming up. Go Broncos. And they already released the robots. Shabaka, they did that at the Chargers game last year. They're already out roaming the streets. They're already out.
Okay. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're trickling them in. So like I said, 2-3 years you're gonna see them out there en masse. You know, it's because I go to a damn restaurant here in Las Vegas, man, place in my order, and guess who delivers me my damn plate?
The robot.
Yeah, and then the robot got questions up there about, well, how was the service and all that, and I said, robot, you a piece of shit. You fucked everything up. Just to fuck up their feedback on the you know what I'm saying? You know, and what it is, Black family, is that we are all we got. All these other groups, man, they don't mean us no goddamn good. Period. Yeah, I said it. Okay. If you don't like it, call into Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Tuesday. Everybody knows the time. The number to call in is 516-418-5996. Now, as Professor Black Truth had put it up there, you're gonna get these Yasa bosses still with your Al Sharptons, your John Lewis, who may he rest in peace, by the way. We know the man transition who went up there and got knocked in the head at the Edmund Pettus Bridge, stretched out. Just like the last poet said, the nightstick glides gracefully upside your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's talking about this is good trouble. Okay, so what your generation, Brother Che, is gonna have to do, right? You guys, man, are gonna have to come up with some type of methods, rather conventional or unconventional, okay, to defend yourselves, because they're coming at you hard, man. You know, they're gonna come at you very hard.
Shout out to the new Black media for keeping us up to speed on what's happening. Without the new Black media, we would be lost in the sauce too.
Oh, absolutely. You see what I mean? And the only way that I can go before the ancestors with my head held high is knowing that I tried my best to relate to your generation, man, of what I've lived through, okay? It's because, you know, that was a very, very powerful image that was projected in the late 60s and early 70s. And white America was scared. Okay, no, white America was scared. You see what I'm saying? And we need to make these motherfuckers even more
we
scared.
had the opportunity to have whatever we wanted. And what did these Sambo Rambo biscuit eating Negroes want? Integration. sit at the lunch
Exactly.
counter
See
with
what I'm
masks
saying? Yeah.
and
Now, just because.
interracial sexual access. That's all they wanted.
Okay, and me personally. Yeah, and me personally, I can't see the value of it, man. You know, people are gonna do what they want as well too. Okay, now keep in mind, man, the research that I've done, I think Brother Chow was surfing in that, and let me see. And one of these individuals, you know, who is royalty or whatever, they were saying is, man, it's back in those times, man, them motherfuckers only took baths, man, like about twice a year.
Well, now
Say,
they
man,
take them twice a month at best.
yeah, okay, but say, man, can you imagine how stinky and nasty a motherfucker is, man, taking a bath once a year?
Yes.
I mean, that motherfucker, man, by today's standards, walk past you, man, it'll make you vomit.
I
So
used to
goddamn
live,
filthy and nasty.
I literally used to live around somebody that was just like that. So yeah.
Yeah, but we as a people, we gave the world bathing. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? They don't even want to give us credit for that. I mean, you've heard these motherfuckers, man, on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced over the year, and then we get some crazy motherfucker calling in talking about he's the damn devil. Man, what kind of goddamn dope are you on, man? You better leave that
Well,
shit alone.
that just lets you know we're getting somewhere.
Oh,
If,
absolutely. You know
if
what
you
I'm
don't have
saying? Yeah,
haters, you ain't
Shabaka.
doing something right.
Oh yeah, Shabaka, I'm the devil. Okay, man. So what the hell are you up to? And then I am sorry, and I'm putting it out there that I had to cut the brother down there in New Orleans loose. You know what I mean? The man gonna come up there, you know, send me a bunch of texts cussing at me and shit, and that ain't happening. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So
Uh-uh.
let's hear from Lady Cherry. Lady Cherry, what are your thoughts on what Professor Black Truth just laid out for us in regards to voting? Lady Cherry, you're muted. She must have went to the bathroom or something. I really want to hear her thoughts on this though.
I'm back.
Okay.
I gotta really organize my little jacket section right here. Just getting on my nerves right now. Let's see what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's right. The cognitive dissonance is like it's apparent. What he's saying is absolutely correct. So something we've been saying. Um, God, this is something at the beginning that I want to tap on. Um, he doesn't lead us down a bad path. Thing is that you know, her not wanting to debate, it's clear. The last couple of just the last couple of interviews she did with black folk, she's been like kind of giggly and weird and awkward and kind of crunched down in her seat, like almost like a motherfucker that's brand new and getting high.
Hmm.
Kind of awkward with it, They don't want you to know they're high, but they're high.
Yeah.
Or they're drunk, but they don't want you to know they're drunk. They're kind of like
Yeah.
wormy and shit all around their seat. They kind of like try to, well, look, it's like this, but the reality, she's fucking up all over the place. She's not real good at these interviews, the press conference. As far as like what do you say about someone preparing a motherfucker for a debate or whatever? You got signal in the audience, it's all everything's all prepared. Some people just need that. You gotta think that they just will just do like they'll pull an RFK Jr. They'll just probably put themselves um in a whole mess, and they just need to be like wrangled in, or else they're gonna say the wrong shit, either upset the wrong people, or be offensive, or it's gonna cause more questions than it really is solving problems. Some people need that. They're just not good interviewers. They're not good. They're not good at it. They just need a little bit. They need to be controlled. a little bit of micromanaging, like it's just 'cause they can't control themselves, or they'll say the wrong shit, or they use the wrong words, things like that. And in this case with Kamala, um, we're seeing that, especially like with Uncle Luke. The squirminess of it all was just like driving me crazy. And if I didn't know any better, I thought she was high or drunk. You know what I mean? Like brand new at it too. Like she took a few good sips. And that shit finally kicked in. Now she's feeling loose. She's all squirming around and shit. At least for the little pieces that we saw. Um, I didn't want to watch that interview. As far as the other dude, her vice president, I mean, he seems to talk better than her. Although I don't want to see an interview with him either. I think he
You
did
talking
her.
about Elmer Fudd?
Yeah, I think he looks like when Jim Carrey played the fireman. You know what I mean, on SNL.
No, Lady J, that motherfucker look just like Elmer Fudd from cartoons.
Yeah, he's this weird overgrown white eyebrows. The other thing is that with everybody, I think it's pretty much a good break for them talking. Really, interviews and little speeches and shit. Unless you're like a professional, I don't think you should do it. One of the ones I like talking to or like listening to when they do interviews that I find kind of amusing is motherfucking Cornell West. I'd rather not hear Stein speak. We don't have too many other people run. As far as RFK Jr. is concerned, he decided he wanted to take all the divisive shit out of the conversation. So he's not gonna go anywhere with that.
He's just all over the place.
RFK,
I feel
He's
like
trying to get a job from the
RFK
jump.
Jr. is through.
he's trying to get a job with both parties on either or party, and it's like, look, dude, if you wanted a cabinet position, just say that, drop out.
Right.
The other portion is that I could do without listening to them talk. It's killing them 3 weeks with no interviews, and 3 weeks with no Trump with his 3 weeks, and her with her no more interviews until after the fucking DNC. No press conferences until after the DNC. It's like you're really hurting yourselves. You're not
And then
making.
what is this madness about? If you don't support Kamala, then you automatically support the dump. And what if he did support the dump? What are y'all Democrats gonna do about it? Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. And then at the end of the day, it's not even you. It's not the popular vote that even elects the president. It's the electoral college. But none of these Democratic
Right
shills or
now,
these operatives want to
okay,
acknowledge
now
that.
one thing,
Well, you don't have to support either or. You keep your black vote in your fucking pocket.
okay,
You hold on to it like you hold your
okay,
split.
now,
You ain't got to vote. You ain't got to.
okay,
No, even if you don't, like, first of all, we, as what we've been talking about for the last fucking 2 years, are not supposed to be voting blue at all.
Right.
We're not supposed to be voting fucking Democrat at all. Now, you're not even supposed to vote for the fucking other side. You're supposed to let the duopoly fucking burn itself to the fucking ground. That's what holding your vote means. So, in case I forgot, and I know I didn't forget, the duopoly is supposed to be collapsed. We're supposed to be watching it collapse right in front of our eyes. We're supposed to be riding for the third party or creating our own candidates. We're not supposed to be voting for blue, and we aren't supposed to be voting for him because it's not like, only some people did better, right? And regardless of whatever the project shit is, it doesn't even fucking matter. It's like Tariq and everybody said, this shit has been going on little by little over the last couple of years. The last
couple of decades. This ain't nothing new.
We need to be voting.
actually, that's 5 decades.
We need to keep our
like I
black
said
voting.
about that, it's nothing new.
We
It's
need
just
to
the
keep our black.
Democrats.
That's it. We need to keep our black vote in our pocket, like we were supposed to a whole fucking year ago. It shouldn't even be a fucking question. We shouldn't even be having these questions right now because that means
We should have done that 5 years ago. We were supposed to do that
all the
5
work
years.
done and went out the door.
No, it hasn't gone out way out the door.
Yes,
Y'all
it
give
has.
it, no,
If
it
they're
hasn't.
asking about why we can't vote for Trump, that's the stupidest motherfucking question. Because fuck Trump and fuck Biden too.
But this is how their mind works. This is what Professor Black Truth was just talking about. They're
That's right.
very
I'm not with this.
immature,
I'm not
and
with it.
their pride won't let them acknowledge it or accept it. That they're willfully ignorant, and they choose to remain that way. That's what Professor was talking about. He's like, look, there comes a time where you gotta freaking wake the hell up and realize neither one of these mothers is meaning you no good. And voting blue, no matter who voting for the same result, that's insanity. And that's what our people have been on for 60 years. Insanity. And they so prideful instead of admitting, hey, we fucked up. We made a mistake. No, no, no. Your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote. You should just vote because you can vote. You know, there's so many people that wish they could vote that can't vote and all that type of dumb shit. No, our ancestors,
Okay,
if
now
they
can I
wanted us
interject
to
on
vote,
something on
no,
that there, Brother Trey?
no, because I'm not done. Our ancestors died for us to have liberation and freedom. They thought voting was the way to it. But we can clearly see after 60 plus years of doing the same old thing, expecting a different result, it's not working. It's not working. It's not feasible.
Exactly,
Go ahead, Shabaki. What were you gonna say?
exactly. And this is okay, yeah, okay. See, so what had happened was, man, is that now I'm going back on some memories now. Okay, it's because with the civil rights movement after Dr. King had got killed in 1968, right? Okay, so they were using pretty much that, to go out there, say, hey, emphasize and vote is because your people had died for the right to vote. Now, great, fine, beautiful, but at the same token, you got to look at the fact that a lot of our people died for liberation, all the way back to the slavery days. Hell, all the way back to the damn Amistad, man. What do you think that was about? You see what I'm saying? And what was that case? 1830 something. I can't remember. Okay, so what it
Yeah, it was
is
around the
this
time of
is
Nat
why
Turner.
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, so that's the 1830s, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Nat
now,
Turner was 1831.
this is why I'm not and this is why I'm not a fan of Morgan Freeman. And Mr. Freeman, your sorry ass man is welcome to call in at 516-418-5996, Negro. And I'll let you speak first, man, and I will cut you to shreds. Now, the thing is that when Sin-Q did his thing right there, and like when Nat Turner did his thing, because I think a brother was telling me, man, that there was the same year of an eclipse, and Nat Turner
Yeah,
did
the
the eclipse
same year
as
of
time
eclipse
from the
that we
hand.
had. It was that year, Shabaka. That was a similar eclipse to what we had this year.
Okay, and which was almost total totality, which was total
Yeah,
totality.
it
And
took the same path. It took the same path of totality in 1931
okay,
that it took this year in 2024.
okay, you're talking about in 1831.
Yes, in 1831, the path of totality was the same as the path of totality for the eclipse this year.
Okay, so this here goes to show that the celestial bodies are cyclical, means that they go through a cycle, like with Halley's Comet and all that I missed in 1986. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the point is that there are certain laws and principles in nature that must be obeyed. Otherwise, if they are not, there is no reality. And I think what you got is a classic example of this right now is this presidential election. It's lies, myths, shadows,
Yep.
deceit, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Untruths. You see what I'm saying? Off of both sides of these fences. You see what I mean? But one thing about the dump, as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way. He is telling you how he honestly feels. He is telling you of how white America honestly feels. He is telling you of how those damn colonizers honestly feels. And as you say, Brother Check, with these damn tethers, you see what I'm saying? You know, yeah, they on puppet strings of white supremacy as well, too.
That's why they're tethered, Shabaka. They're trying to undermine that support.
Yes, sir. And then here you got this stinky bird motherfucker who is not an African. He is a goddamn Boer. He's Dutch, okay? Trying to get all of Africa's land. China trying to get all of Africa's land. Europe already had all of Africa's land. So evidently, if all these people who are sinister, barbaric, unclean are going to the motherland, you see what I'm saying, and try to divide it up amongst themselves, okay, then there's something about our heritage, Black family, that is sacred. I mean, the whole fucking world's economy will collapse, man, without those natural resources from Africa. Rather if it's the diamonds, the tungsten, the bauxite, the silicon, the whole fucking world's economy will collapse. They know it. They know, and they try to keep us ignorant of this. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we should be controlling the damn sports industry, is because so many of our people have the talent that creates the revenues for these teams. And that's why that bastard who is the coach or the general manager or the owner of the Washington Commanders says, well, if you niggas don't like the way we're doing things, then you ought to go form your own goddamn leagues. The son of a bitch is right. Just like what the Contra Costa County Sheriff told Bobby Seale and Huey Newton, man, in Contra Costa County. If you got a problem with the goddamn laws in the state of California, take it up with the fucking legislature. Now get the hell out my office. And Seale says, you know what, pig? You got a point. And they did just that. You see what I'm saying? And then when they went up there to do that May 2nd, 1967, you had that old senile motherfucker up there, man, with special effects from crazy glue and Grecian formula sitting out there. Well, you know, Nancy and I figured this, that, there, the other, blah, 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 blah. And then when we went up there, then Mulford, who was a state senator out of an area called Piedmont, which is a ritzy area north of Oakland, that introduced the Mulford Act, okay? Now let me show you something here at the federal level. Hold it. Now, how come Ketanji Brown then introduced him to the U.S. Supreme Court, right? Or Clarence Sambo? Well, guess what? You know, California's in violation of the Second Amendment.
Because they obviously don't want us to protect ourselves. Ketanji can't even define a woman.
Exactly.
You think she want to protect Black women? She just put up there to make Black women feel warm and fuzzy inside. She ain't gonna do nothing for Black people, nothing to help Black people. And how many Black people actually see a federal judge? Not that many. So what's she gonna do? She's just there. She's a figurehead. Oh, blackface in a high place. Oh, we supposed to live vicariously through her. No, them days are over. See, that went for y'all generation. I mean, I'm saying the boomers. That went for y'all.
No, you're right.
The silent generation. That went for y'all. That don't go on us.
And then keep in mind, Brother Che, look at my generation's past mistakes, man, and learn from it.
And that's what we're learning. We're learning that the symbolism is not working. We got to demand something tangible. And we got to come to these mugs before the selection, not after. Before. What our demands, what our agenda, whatever, what our policy, whatever. We got to have it right there in hand. Look, are you gonna do this or not? Are you gonna promote this or not? Are you gonna push this or not? If the answer is no, then you're not getting our vote. Period. Point blank. We don't care what you look like.
And then also too, Double R was saying, man, on Black Power Radio earlier, man, is that California, man, you know, is talking about reparations, and so I'm waiting to get some information from
there's some new bills. one of the brothers with C-Jack, I follow on Twitter, Chris. He said there was some new bills that they were looking to introduce to the California Assembly.
Okay, now keep in mind, people. When you go to Sacramento, California, okay, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to park there near the state capitol. Now, the directions how you get to the California state capitol is that what you're gonna do when you go into Sacramento off of Interstate 5, you're gonna see a miniature golden bridge. Okay, not the Golden Gate Bridge, that's in San Francisco, but a miniature golden bridge, and that there's the Capitol Mall. You get off there, you turn right, man, and the California State Capitol, man, will be in your windshield. But you got to keep your parking paid up, is because all around there, man, you got to pay to park. So, you know, goddamn well, man, they're going to be looking for every goddamn excuse, man, to go tow your car. So you got to pay to park. Keep your parking up. Or what you can do is go to one of their Metro Rail stations, and you could Google it, and go to a Metro Rail station in Sacramento. I forgot what they called it. It's not the BART, because that's in the Bay Area. But the Metro Rail system they got up there, Brother Che, looks very, very similar to the one they have in Denver, okay?
Yeah, it's
so
light rail.
Remember where you park at, and get on the light rail, okay? And then what you would do when you walk into the state capitol, okay, entering it from the west side, okay, is you walk down the hall. It's been so many years since I've been in that motherfucker. But they would have it right there to where the assembly floor is, okay? And keep in mind, they're going to put you through metal detectors.
Oh yeah, of course. That's at any government building.
Yeah. And then and the ones who's going to be conducting the metal detectors and monitoring you going in and out the place is going to be the California State Police and the California Highway Patrol. Actually, the California State Police, they're nothing but glorified security guards, but the actual, for all practical purposes, is of what the California State Police is the California Highway Patrol.
Yeah, that's the same for Colorado. Colorado's the same way.
Yeah, you see. So therefore, the California State Police, man, they ain't nothing but glorified security guards. That's all they are. But the actual law enforcement agent, man, the one that will whoop your ass, that one that will shoot you, would be the California Highway Patrol. Just like that son of a bitch had beat that woman on the side of the Santa Monica Freeway and had her pinned down and hitting her with closed fist.
Yeah, I remember that.
A couple of years ago. That was, yeah. Hell, man, I could take you right to the location of where it happened at. I could take you to where the Charles Manson case happened at. I could take you to where the OJ case went down. I could take you to the exact same location where they beat the shit out of Rodney King. I could take you there to the corner in Florence and Normandy where they beat the shit out of the truck driver, Reginald Denny. And then, like I was trying to tell that old stupid Sarge, the way I heard it, man, that came about that hood is that truck driver, man, that went through there, man, shouting a bunch of obscenities to black people, saying good for you niggas.
Yeah.
That them cops got off. So therefore the gangsters over there, they said, motherfucker, you can't repeat that. And he did, and they wouldn't put the work in on his ass. So as far as I'm concerned, he brought that shit on himself.
Yeah. The Crips fucked him all
and
the way
then keep in mind that we had a trial, an infamous trial in there that they didn't give too much publicity for, was the LA 4 Plus trial. And them dudes got hit with 10 years too.
Sarge. Yeah, don't get us started on Sarge.
Nah, well, you know, Sarge is Sarge. You know, I've got a few more episodes, man. We can go in on Sarge, and then we'll be making our swan song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're gonna be shut down, man, for at least 3 months, man, because I can't afford it no more until we get some revenue. We get some revenue, man. Hell, I'll put that motherfucker, man, on a damn $400 a month plan. All we need is just the revenue to come in.
Well, we need to hit up Tave. Tave said he was going to drop some serious bread So we need to get
Okay, all right. So the next time we get with Tave, man, we got to get a phone number from Tave, man, or we got to get an email from Tave, because I've been trying to communicate with a man on the like page, man, but it ain't going through.
Yeah, so when they're in the chat, we gotta hit them up for that information.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
and
I gotta move us along. I gotta move us along.
Okay, yeah. Next up.
Topic too long. Lady Che, did you have anything else to add before we move on to the next topic? Lady Che. Okay.
Lady Che, are you there? I see her avatar is still up.
Somebody had to step away for a sec.
All right.
I'm trying to pull up the itinerary. So my tablet was still working. I can't unlock my tablet. If anybody knows how to unlock a tablet, please let me know. Okay, we got.
You're gonna have to take it to the Geek Squad.
Yeah. So we got.
Because I got to take that other computer I got to the Geek Squad too. Because this computer, man, is getting clogged up. Hey, and was you able to convert that song?
Fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and
what was I able to do? What? No, Shabaka. I wasn't.
Okay.
Hopefully, I have it up by Tuesday, though. I'm gonna try to search for a download of it. So you'll probably have to send me the song again, so I can try to get an MP3 version of it.
Okay, well, the name of the song is called Love Tastes Like Strawberries by Hugh Masekela.
Well, tonight on the podcast.
Yeah, I just need you to send me the link again whenever you get a chance. So the mainstream media, the next topic is the mainstream, or as we call it, the lamestream media, continues to lie about VP Kamala Harris to deceive Black voters.
Exactly.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream media just do not have the pulse of what's going on in Black America. They're either extremely behind, they outright lie daily, and they tell half truths. Now, you know, Vice President Kamala Harris is running for president, as we all know, and people are literally doing propaganda campaigns at this point, because ever since she's gotten in the race, they have turned up the propaganda for her. I mean, they didn't even do that for Joe Biden, but they made sure to do that for her. Now, I want y'all to check this clip out here, and let's get into what he says as straight out lies.
Do you have any sense on the potential impact on the Black vote following this announcement?
Kurt, the African-American vote is going to be tremendous throughout this entire process. We're seeing something very similar to what happened in 2008.
With Barack Obama?
Absolutely. We're seeing that type of excitement.
Barack Obama, the nation's first African-American president, in his first election, picking up 95% of the Black vote. Will Kamala Harris be able to tap into that same energy?
When you talk about the Black community, she also represents part of its core. As a graduate of a historical Black college and university, HBCU, Howard University, Mother Howard, and also part of one of our Black sororities, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So it's just not.
How does that translate, though, into actual votes, people showing up at the polls?
Well, again, the energy behind it. As a matter of fact, the day after the announcement, there was a call held for Black women in support of Harris, and also the next day, Black men in support of Harris. These two calls saw a record number of individuals logging on and a record number of grassroots dollars raised into the millions of dollars.
The first lie that this gentleman told was that Vice President Kamala Harris campaign and the energy that it has today is similar to Barack Obama in 2008. That is a complete lie, and he knows he's lying. This is why I say this is nothing but straight propaganda. And this is actually disinformation. Okay. Disinformation means that you're telling a straight lie on some information and you know it. Now, misinformation, you could put out information is wrong, but you didn't know that. You didn't intentionally do that. This guy's intentionally putting out disinformation about this, because I remember when Barack Obama ran for president the first time. I know that was truly at that moment, and for black people, of course, today we look at it in hindsight like, oh my God, why?
Yeah.
But the black community was excited. Black people in their own neighborhoods was talking about, hey man, you ready to vote? Man, we gotta get the first black president in there, man. Man, we never thought we'd see this.
Yeah.
That's really what the energy was. You thought you'd never see it.
Yeah.
Right? Because forever we never thought we'll see a black president in America, a black family in the White House. That's something most black people never thought we would see.
Yeah.
So that was an exciting time. And Barack Obama, the way he presented himself, he was intelligent. He knew how to speak very well, and all, and he had a good looking family. That's a lot of things black people got behind.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So even when he took the oath and all that, it was historic. Whether his legacy, whatever it is or not, it was historic.
He did that.
Vice President Kamala Harris do not have none of that behind her. I don't see a bunch of people wearing Kamala shirts.
Nope.
I'm not talking about Kamala shirts she's selling in her merch store. I'm talking about actually Kamala shirts that people was making.
I remember
and everybody walking around with Kamala shirts. You don't see that?
I remember hearing some of them Democratic shills though at some of these little town hall meetings talking about, oh, they can't wait till they get their Kamala clothing and all that type of dumb shit. Talking about they ordering all this Kamala shit. I'm like, man, y'all smoking all kinds of base rocks. I wouldn't buy nothing with that woman's face on it.
You don't see that at all. You don't see no rappers rapping about Kamala. Nobody's talking about her like that, but she just got into the race and she got what? That's 80 some odd days now. So why are you lying, sir? Don't lie.
Right.
Then number two, you talk about, oh, well, she went to the Howard and this. So what? Rachel Dolezal went to Howard.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean anything. If that's the case, well, let Rachel Dolezal go run. And we just say she's a black woman too.
Right.
I don't know why is it that they keep bringing up her going to Howard like that. Say, oh, she went to Howard? Oh, shoot, man, I'm voting for her now. Like, huh?
Right.
Then you're sitting up here touting Vice President Kamala Harris, but then you're talking about this call with black men and black women. The majority of the black electorate did not get this call. No, stop lying.
Only
y'all was in y'all little corners, y'all little boule circles, and y'all this was the boule and their connections doing that. That was not the majority of black America. Right. I don't know no black woman that got an email about that. I don't know no black man that got an email about this black men call. Didn't know none of this, right? All on this call to raise money for.
I remember Jeff Fart talking about it on his raggedy ass show.
Right.
But those that's not in that political sector at all, in the world of politics, wouldn't know nothing about this shit. So he definitely has a point there.
Vice President Kamala Harris, right? And then what we gonna get out of it? That's my thing. Listen, I don't mind if we gonna get something out the deal. I don't mind. For me, all of this is business. None of it's personal.
Right.
If she would say, if y'all get reparations on my desk in the form of cash payments, I will sign reparations. If she say, if you get on my desk an anti-black hate crime bill on my desk, I'll sign it. If Vice President Kamala Harris,
Uncle Phil, we still waiting on the George Floyd Policing Act that she announced that she's gonna make Jim Crow Biden sign during Tyree Nichols' funeral.
Exactly.
Harris was saying that and constantly saying that and saying this is what I'm trying to do for the black American community. Then I'm like, okay, well, shoot, man, we need to look more into Vice President Kamala Harris now because she's trying to give a tangible to black Americans. With politics, I have no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. just permanent interest. My permanent interest is what's happening to Black America. My interest is not what's happening all over the whatever, right? Because we all have learned in the Black American community, no other group gonna look out for us but us. Right. We can't ally with nobody because when we ally, it's a one-sided relationship. We doing all the work, they getting benefit, and then when it's time for them to ally with us, they don't do it. So that's why we say, hey man, y'all do you, and we gonna do us.
Yeah, culture on that.
It's just bottom line.
Pretty much.
I may talk about some things that other people may agree with, like illegal immigration and things like that. But at the end of the day, if it's affecting my community, I'm going to say something. If Vice President Kamala Harris get off of the open borders, if she get off of all that promoting deletion of children to our Black community, and start talking about at least those two issues that I mentioned, then I'll say, okay, well, let's see what Vice President Kamala Harris got going on. Because realistically, Trump has not mentioned any of that either. But I see the migrant crisis that's so dire and how that's going to destroy Black America, literally, if she gets in there, because she is pro-open borders. That's what she's about. That's what the Biden-Harris administration has been about, is open borders. And not only that, papering them up, giving them thousands of dollars in funds when they get here, giving them free hotels. Which one of you got a free mortgage or free rent right now? None of you, but they got it. That comes from the Biden-Harris administration. You'll have to stop all of this for me to even start considering. Say, okay, let's see what she got going on.
I refuse to pay rent for this raggedy motherfucker I'm in. I'm in a program. I got an excuse. But yeah, if I wasn't in this program, I would have to be paying ridiculous amounts for rent too. I haven't paid nothing for rent in 4 years because I'm a client of CCH. So I kind of lucked out on that front because it was like,
what's that there? Colorado Comprehensive Housing?
No, Colorado Coalition for the Homeless.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta have zero income to qualify. So as far as that, no, I ain't got no income.
Okay.
Because even if you get reparations, you still can't be pro-open borders. No. But these people are lying. They get on TV, they lie. But they want to be on you talking about fact checking and all this other stuff. Go fact check them.
Right.
And who is these so-called grassroots organizations? Who are they? You never mention them. Or is this one, is that one, is that one, is this one? You never say who they are. That's the issue too. So that's why a lot of people have checked out and listening to y'all. But it's my job to make sure I keep my ear and my eye on you, because I know, unfortunately, some of our people still watch you, still watch local media. And when I'm talking about local media, I'm talking about when they giving commentary on the political side. I'm not talking about your local news stories. That's not what I'm talking about. Some of you still watch the CNNs, the MSC. Even though you may watch me, you still watch that too. Some of you may still watch Joy Reid. Not to keep an eye on Joy Reid, but some people just still think she got something to say. She don't.
Like same with Jeff Fart. Some of y'all that watch the Frontline Black News still watch the Jeff Fart show. It's rather here and there. You know, the distinction is very clear. That's the old dead Black.
Joy Reid has nothing to say.
And we are the new Black media. And they are not the same. They are diametrically opposed. As Shabaka would always say.
Joy Reid is bought and paid for. But
facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's part of what we here to do, is to catch them when they're lying. They're going to see in November, she's not going to get 95% like Obama got. She's not going to get 95% of the Black vote. That's not happening. Even Biden didn't get that, and that was his vice president. If anybody should have got even 95%, it should have been Biden, because Obama picked him, and he didn't even get it. Right? So let's see what happens. We all know what's gonna happen, but I think they're gonna have a rude awakening. I'm not saying that more black people going to vote for her than they would have voted for Biden. Of course, some of them will. I mean, I'm not silly to that. But what I'm saying is it's not going to be 95%. And that's what he's trying to get at. Oh, everybody's so excited about her. No. And you talking about what her concerts that she's having? She's having concerts.
Yeah, those are concerts.
People are going to see Megan Thee Stallion and anybody else that she's inviting. And then people are filming after they perform. They're leaving. They're not even listening to her like that. That's embarrassing, right? Because she don't really want to go out there on her own and do a rally without nobody trying to bring their crowd in.
Mm-hmm.
You're avoiding the media, which is not a good thing to do. Even avoiding Fox News. You should go into hostile territory and do an interview. Not to say you're going to be disrespected, but sometimes you make them pull some of them voters toward you. But if you stay in the echo chamber, you're not going to expand your voter base.
Right.
You're just not.
Gutfield, and if you out there, Gutfield,
they always lying to black folks. Lying. But we here for it, ladies and gentlemen. We here for it, and we're gonna keep an eye on them. Make sure that we always, point them out, because that's some of the same people that's gonna lead you right down that path of destruction. Because you go out there and vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, and then she put on another 20 million migrants on top of you. You know what I'm saying? And these migrants, all of them not coming from the African continent. They're not coming from the Caribbean. They're not coming. The black ones not coming from Latin America. They're letting everybody else come over here, but the black ones. You better believe.
Yep, we
family and fellow soldiers.
We seen that in 2021 with the Haitians. All right, Shabaka, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, all right. Well, Uncle Phil, he's right about that. And then you saw what they did with the Haitians crossing the border. Them damn Texas Rangers came out there and hit them with whips.
Mm-hmm. And rounded them up like cattle and put them back on a plane to Port-au-Prince. Exactly.
You see what I mean? And then on top of it, this is why we got to have cohesiveness throughout the whole African diaspora. You see what I mean? Because, you get people say, well, I was an American.
The tethers are fucking that up. That cohesion, wanting and dreaming to happen.
Well, that's why the tethers, and that's why the way how you stay on the tethers helmets, man, keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there was a sister that did a YouTube video, and she was talking about this tether in Nigeria and all this old type of shit about Nigerians coming here, and the sister told this ignorant motherfucker, if it wasn't for us with the civil rights movement, the black empowerment movement, your black ass couldn't sit at that goddamn lunch counter too down there in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1963.
You remember when I was running for mayor, and the NAACP had that conference or convention or whatever, and they allowed candidates to speak, and one of the sisters from, I think her name was, I think she was from Ethiopia or something. She said something to the extent of, why is there so much xenophobia toward our people or something? And I said, first off, we're the only reason why y'all were allowed to come here. Y'all need to be thanking us.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
For y'all to come over here and then y'all turn around and do that tether and shit, but see where they come from, there's no kind of what is the word, loyalty, because they're
loyalty, cohesiveness,
constantly fleeing. So you ran from your homeland and you coming over here wagging your finger at us. We didn't run, we stuck and stayed.
Yeah, well, we were brought here. And then on top of that...
Shabaka, we don't want to get into that again. Yeah, we were brought here, but only 4% of us were brought here. The rest of the people were already here.
Well, that's just it, though, Brother Jay. I'm going to have to get with Lerone Bennett again. Because I got a whole encyclopedia by him now. Sister Akshita and El Yao was saying...
prayers to Brother El Yah. I heard there was some flooding going on in his area, so hopefully he's on high ground.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they got a hurricane off the coast of the whole Atlantic seaboard. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so something else that's causing it, but yeah. They got a pretty big storm over there in the northeast right now. But the storm that you're talking
Okay.
about, that storm is out to sea.
Oh, okay. And
Or
I know,
Nestor.
and I did hear that Atlantic coast too. Now you know what a riptide is, brother Che?
Yes.
Okay, all righty. And and so of course we wish them well. But what it is that we got to get our cohesiveness on it. And then, like you say, and I'm going to start crumb bumming on these goddamn tethers, you know, on the podcast as well too.
Yeah,
You see
they
what I
have
mean?
to be checked. Just like we check our coons, those in the
Yeah,
diaspora gotta check their
yeah,
coons.
got to be coons, exactly. And you got a whole lot of them because see, this is the fucking problem with neocolonialism, and this is why I appreciated Brother Julius Mulima, who was talking about, man, because Mulima, man, as you know, Brother Che, he was putting them neocolonialists on the spot because he was saying that he had wanted to unify all of Pan Africa. Now, if that happens, man, that is the left jab for the economical shit.
Yeah, but
And if
again,
we have it,
Shabaka, you can't be the only one on the African continent that wants that. There's
okay, I
54,
agree with you.
there's 55 sovereign nations. Tanzania is just one
Yeah,
of them. And they're
exactly.
not really even
That's
sovereign because they're still under control of their former
of the
masters.
Boers. Yeah, the Boers. You see,
Not just the
and
Boers, Shabaka. I'm talking about all of Africa. There's 55
oh,
nations.
okay, right, okay. All righty, and then too is that though, as you know, Brother Che, when I had the Berlin Conference in 1888,
1884.
okay, the Europeans divided up Africa, you know,
Yeah,
for the
scramble.
resources.
They called it the
Yeah,
scramble.
which was exactly. And then what they would do, man, is that they would go up there, you know, to our people, and then they had emphasized the division amongst the various nations in Africa. Now, what I mean by nations, I'm not talking about imaginary borders. I'm talking about the Maasai. I'm talking about the Kikuyu. I'm talking about the Zulu. I'm talking about the Ashanti. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Fulani, Berbers, and what have you, know, because I got a list here, you know, in
Well,
Lerone
Berbers
Bennett's
are
book,
Moors.
and I got,
Berbers are Moors.
Okay. All righty. And then you also, too, got to keep in mind, too, Brother Che, is that a lot of our peoples there were nomadic. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where they'll travel,
came from-
you know, to various.
I know, and that's the thing too about Aboriginal peoples. They were nomadic too, and they were agrarian, meaning they lived off the soil, lived off the ground, what they grew, what they raised.
Yeah. And then keep in mind, though, too, man, but I'm still looking for the missing link, is
I
because when I
told
see
you the
these.
missing link is, Shabaka. The $5 Indians, the Dow's Commission. That's the missing link.
Okay, well, motherfucker go up there and get paid $5 and say he's an Indian, huh?
The real Indians, Shabaka, are darker than they were darker than both me and you. Like they were jet black, damn near obsidian black. The original Native Americans of like Mississippi, because that's why Mississippi is named what it is, because the people that were down there, the Aboriginal people that were down there were dark as hell. Like all along the Mississippi River, like all those people were black people. Like if you look at the paintings of the so-called natives during the 1800s, they were jet black. Now
okay, we need Dr. Ashwa. Okay, Brother Paris. Okay, not cutting your wisdom, man. Yeah, we got to get Dr. Ashwa Kwesi up here, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's hard as hell to get in touch with. Yeah, Ashwa is hard as hell, but Ashwa is heavy, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not doubting of what you're saying and what have you. Okay, now see, this could be the evolution of your generation, man, of getting further knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And whatnot. And actually, the more
like
that
you
I
always
study
saying,
it,
Shabaka, when
yeah,
when the X-Men was alive, in the
yeah,
same interview that the X-Men
yeah,
was telling the truth for what it is, the
yeah,
media at the time, right next to, like literally like a step away from Malcolm X, there was a
right,
Sambo Rambo ass coon that was talking about,
right.
oh, we just need to obey, we just need to go to work, we just need to
Oh, yeah.
not cause no trouble. In the
Oh, yeah.
same,
Yeah.
so we already know, like
That was the
you
one where
already
he was up
know,
there at Berkeley, right?
I believe so. You already know, Shabaki, that the masses of the people, even at that time, of our people weren't on board with what Malcolm X was talking about. Nor were they
Right. The
on
only
board
one,
with
man,
what
who,
John Hendrick Clark
yeah,
was
the
talking
only
about.
one, and also too, and that's where Newton and Seal got together, man, because they used to go see the X-Men speak at Berkeley, because as you know,
Yeah, but
Berkeley
they
is
were
right
the
across the street
exception.
from Oakland.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they were the exception, Shabaka. The
Yeah.
majority of the black people at that time wasn't on board with nothing that they was talking about. They was more on what
Yeah.
King was talking about,
Right.
and
Right.
John Lewis
Yeah.
and Abernathy and
Right.
fucking Bayard Rustin. They was more on what they was talking about.
Oh, oh, and you know that Bayard Rustin was a homosexual. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that
Yeah,
Bayard Rustin got arrested in Pasadena, California, man, for sucking another man's dick in public?
I heard that. We actually had our first Latino mayor got caught in the park doing that same thing, Pena.
Damn.
And and
Damn.
can you guess what park it was, Shabaki?
Man, don't tell me the city park, man.
No, it wasn't City Park.
Which park was it?
Cheeseman Park.
Oh, man. Okay, and Mac 285 said he's sick of these Sambos, and I don't blame him, man, because them is the main motherfuckers, man, that's hampering our progress, man. You know what I'm saying? Then, oh shit, they talking about an anti-black hate crime bill in Congress. You also need that, plus you need an anti-Sambo bill.
Yeah, right.
For damn sure, man.
we have to de-incentivize being a coon. Right now,
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Unfortunately, right
But you
now,
want to hear
unfortunately,
something?
it pays to be a coon, and that's why so many of our people
Yeah,
go that route. Because,
yeah,
like
but keep in
Paul
mind, though,
Mooney
brother Che.
said, you got to learn to be a
Yeah,
coon. You got to practice busting
yeah,
your eyes. You gotta practice, like they say, you gotta kiss some ass. You gotta kiss the white man's ass to make it. Um, yeah, those days are over.
yeah, it is. And then too, with this technology, that's why I keep emphasizing, man. You know that the youth, man, need to
Oh
study this
yeah,
science.
yeah. Andrew Bussy Gillum, yeah, down in Florida. Yep, we seen that. We
Mm-hmm.
covered all of that. We covered all of that, Mac 285. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also too, and there was another brother, man. Oh, and also too, what they did to Adam Clayton
Sabaki,
Powell,
we
man.
taking up all the airtime. Let's let Lady Che chime in on this topic. Lady Che, what are your thoughts on the mainstream media continuing to lie about VP Kamala Harris to deceive black voters?
They allow all they want, but they can't. I mean, first of all, let me just start off by saying this. I should have took the bag of grapes and a few plums from your crib.
Yeah, you should
Because
have.
you got a watermelon up in the fridge. I'm not strong enough to cut.
Oh damn.
And I was like sitting here like, damn man, I really could go for a can of fruit. But I've been eating all my little cans of fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there like, God damn it, I should have grabbed that fucking bag of grapes. As far as that's concerned, as far as the media is concerned, look, they right now they trying to do some sort of image resale to us, and we've been paying attention for like 3 years. That's what I'm saying. Like they thought we was gonna start talking shit about this broad, and in all actuality, no, we're not. So I mean, we can't just go from shit talking for 3 motherfucking years, or even longer, on this broad, calling her all kind of names or whatever, to now that she's running for VP. I mean, that would be fake of us, and we don't do.
She's already VP. She's running for president.
Right. So, like I say though, we don't do fake news over here. So we're just gonna keep playing the drum. What they doing is trying to sell like a resale. They try to freshen her up all of a sudden, acting like
they're trying to revamp her.
Right, like we don't know who she is, or we don't know what she did, or we don't know where she came from, or whatever, you know. Like I was
no, she came out the Bay Area, lady Jack.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she came out the Bay Area of California.
What I'm saying is on the RVA, I showed a little bit of the RVA, right, where old Willie was up there, just still shining on her, still shining on her. You know, she could still light up his heart. Yeah, so I say that
Willie Brown is 90 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, Willie Brown, 90 years old.
I said because it's funny as hell to me.
Yeah,
she can still warm his little soul up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
well, Lady J, that's why they call them tricks.
Yeah,
that's why they call them tricks.
You know, when old girl was talking shit about Kamala breaking up marriages and all this extra shit. You know, he didn't defend his ex-wife. He was just shining so happy, shining so bright on Kamala. You know, she gonna do great things.
Yeah, she gonna do great things, all right.
Yeah, she gonna be an amazing president. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I'm like, cause that's gross. You know what I mean? Like, that's some gross shit. Because that's an old ass man who's still holding the torch for old girl. You know what I'm saying? He's still holding the torch for her. He's still happy about it. It's just gross. You know, like right here.
Well, she got to her position by flat back here.
Jesse, can I share this real quick? Can I share this real quick, like 2 seconds?
How long is it, Lady J?
Literally 4 minutes.
It's just like the time waste.
I don't want time waste. This ain't about time waste. This is a serious thing right now, like with oh boy Willie. Willie.
How long is the clip, Lady J?
Like fucking less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, look. It's just I already got it up there. You just gotta say it's okay. Just prove it real fast. Bet. All right, look. Fuck the commercials.
Fuck the commercial. Check out Frontline Black News.
The story that was told yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, that's all over the place today.
And I'm laughing about it simply because anybody that would place any credence in anything he says, especially about unprepared for the quality of the candidacy of somebody like Kamala.
Here we go.
He is probably totally in desperation because he wasn't prepared for the quality of the candidacy of somebody like Kamala Harris.
Oh my God.
Were you ever in a helicopter? I mean, like, tell me a bit about when you heard about this story.
I just heard about it like everybody else, somewhere on television or radio.
Ever in a helicopter with the guy?
No, are you kidding me? I wouldn't ride with him for fear something might happen to the helicopter.
Oh yeah, he tried to say that he was
ever just
in a helicopter with him.
To this man about Kamala.
Of course not.
But your sense about her as a candidate?
I think she's going to be the president. And should.
Willie Brown, now.
nobody else better qualified. And when she was designated by Biden to take his place on the ticket, and then hopefully for the presidency, it was a breath of fresh air for all America. I've never seen so many people
He's a
enthusiastic
tether,
about
so I'm
politics.
really.
And then finally, it seems like
Willie
perhaps
Brown's a
Governor
tether.
Newsom today has been
It's
quoted
not
in the New
FBA.
York Times saying that he was referring perhaps to Jerry Brown.
I don't
instead
even
of
want to know how
Willie
we know.
Brown. And if this happened up in Paradise.
No, he is. He's a tether. And yeah, he's definitely P-whipped.
Be confused with Jerry Brown?
I don't think I'm confused.
Yeah, he is,
with
Mac
Brown.
285.
I think Trump made the whole story.
Jesse calls everybody
Yeah,
a
he
tether.
is, Mac.
No, everybody's not a tether. The ones that come over to this country to undermine us, they're the tethers.
Yes, he is. Extremely whipped. Okay, whipped with like you say, whipped. Yeah. But I wanted to show you that, family, because it was just 2 minutes of Jesse's life, and we will never get back. That right there was the grossest statements I've ever heard in my life. I was literally like throwing up inside my stomach when I first heard it. I was like, ugh. He still burns a torch. Ugh. Like that's
Okay, Lady Jack.
my skin
Lady
crawls.
Jack, what is to be expected out of San Francisco?
I know,
I mean, they
like,
used to call that damn place the Barbary Coast. Barbary as in barbarian.
It is gross, man.
Man,
I
you
didn't
had-
say that's wrong. I was like, ew, like my skin was like gross. An old man talking about this older woman like that, like, ew, like, you know what I mean? Like, he definitely a trick. Oh my god, like, I like this crawling back in my skin.
Well, Lady J, you took the words out of my mouth. That's why they call them tricks.
Yeah, I was like, that made my ears hurt. I felt dirty. I wanted to wash myself 18 times. I was like, just leave me in there. There's not enough soap.
Is that what they call
to
him?
get clean from that. You know what I mean?
Is that
Like
what
he's
they
a-
call him? Low down Willie Brown.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like a low
And the
down.
cold part about it
wow.
is, and
That's
here's the
not
cold
dirty.
part about him. Do you
felt
know,
dirty.
man, that the span between Yerba Buena Island to San Francisco, man, of the Bay Bridge, man, they call it the Willie Brown Bridge.
You had an opportunity to do
Oh,
something right
yeah.
there. You had an opportunity to say, no, you can say what you want about anybody you want, but leave the ex Mrs. Brown alone. Because what happened during that thing, I really feel like is a classless, tacky type individual, low blow type thing when somebody goes up and attacks somebody's missus, when ex missus or whatever, when they weren't the problem. The problem was that nasty motherfucker right there and that nasty bitch right there. You know what I mean? And so the victim is the mate. You know what I mean? So when old girl,
Well, Lady J, it's something called adultery. Okay?
yeah, and that shit's gross too. What was her name? Michaela, right?
The one that spoke at the Trump rally.
Yeah. That sister right there is like, that is a classless thing to do. You know, like, regardless if they're not married or whatever, no wife, no husband wants to hear that shit day in and day out. You know what I mean? They gotta live with that anyway. So it's like, she's like, well, I'm like, you ain't cute, bitch, and yeah, you're a fool. The fool for bringing that shit up. But he had an opportunity right there to defend the ex Mrs. Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said, I would appreciate if people just leave her out of it. Let her rest or let her just chill. Let her live. Whatever you thought happened, didn't happen. Or what? He had a chance to defend himself right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't.
Yeah, well, what do you expect from low down Willie Brown?
That's tacky bastardness.
He has the name low down Willie Brown for a reason.
Well, you gotta look at that. He's from the Barbary Coast, as in barbarian. San Francisco ain't never had no honor in it. All the politicians was corrupt. You had a motherfucker there by the name of Wyatt Earp who refereed a fight where the dude got knocked the fuck out, and Wyatt Earp is going to label it a true knockout. And then you're something at the finest, man. 285 years, exactly what that motherfucker is. Okay. And then they let Wyatt Earp referee a fight where a dude legitimately gets knocked the fuck out in 1897. And then they're going to wake the dude up to say that he won the fight and the time. They ran Wyatt Earp's ass out of San Francisco after that bullshit. Where the fuck Wyatt Earp wind out at? Where he bought the farm? Los Angeles. Because they had just started the movie making industry and they was using him as an expert for the cowboy movies. I say before that other raggedy motherfucker who became a star, John Wayne, and then that senile motherfucker with the damn special effects with crazy glue and greasy little formula, 44, old Ronald Reagan. But moving right along, folks.
40, number 40. He was the 40th president of the United States. Yep. Okay, yeah, so moving along. The next topic is Democrats. They are trying to get us to fall for this sham. USDA gives black farmers money, or gives black farmers money to other minorities. So the way the Democrats are trying to spin it is, oh, black farmers are finally getting the money that they were owed for so long, but they're actually giving the money to other minorities.
Yeah, ain't that a bitch? You see? You know, just like, man, on mainstream media where they had a white
fellow soldiers,
about
I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth. As many of you already know, especially if you watch my content, I have talked about how black farmers have been suing the USDA after decades of discrimination when it comes to money from that department, which was supposed to be going to black farmers, but was always denied. Apparently, there has been a $2 billion program or what have you that the USDA is supposed to be doing, but it's for black farmers and other minorities. We'll get to that in a moment. It's been a couple of weeks since this news broke, and I'm sure the number of you have been wondering how come Professor Truth hasn't weighed in on it. Same reason that I don't immediately leap to talk about every victim of police violence. I've learned that when it comes to some of these things, you want to be a little bit careful just to see what they're going to say. But I think that just enough time has at least passed where I feel confident or at least comfortable that I can say something. Though I got to say that a better question would be, why isn't Joe Biden talking about this? Or why aren't the shills and Democratic plants that we see online, why aren't they talking about this? Why aren't they boasting about this? Well, when we actually look at it, we see why that is. The money is supposed to be going to black and other minority farmers. Now, black farmers were the ones who brought this lawsuit in the first place. Wasn't Hispanic farmers, wasn't Asian farmers, wasn't anybody else. It was black farmers who brought this lawsuit on behalf of black farmers. But of course, as usual, the white media puts black in the headline and they make sure they have a black face in the picture too. But when you read it, you see, oh, it's for everybody. It's not just for black people, it's for everyone. Yeah, there you go. Just like Claude Anderson said, it's the farmers' version of lift all boats. So that means people who showed up just last week from Indonesia or Ukraine or from Mexico City or who planted a turnip patch somewhere, they can make a claim and they can say that it's supposed to be for everybody. Once again, black people are the ones who have to take the slings and arrows. Black people are the ones who have to wage the war for years, if not decades on end. We're the ones who have to shed blood for these things. And then everybody else gets to walk up and get something handed to them just because. And that's a fact. The only reason this is happening at all is because of the black farmers and no one else. Now, although the USDA has only just begun to start giving people the money that they're supposed to be getting, allegedly, the question I want to know is, how much money have the black farmers who actually waged this fight gotten compared with the minorities? Because I told you about the same thing that happened with the Minority Business Development Agency. It was supposed to be helping minorities, but most of its aid goes to Hispanics and Asians, even though black businesses make up a larger share of non-white businesses in America. If the number of black and Hispanic people in America is about the same, slight advantage allegedly for Hispanics, why is it then when it comes to something like the Minority Business Development Agency, Hispanics get so much more money, even though black businesses outnumber them? So even these programs and agencies that say they give aid to black people, they also discriminate, and they do it openly. And yet, as usual, when it comes to black people, everybody else has to be included. This is how the black wealth gap is maintained. When everybody else gets something, black people are excluded. And it takes decades, if not a century or more, for black people to get these injustices brought to court. And if anything does get paid, then we're told, well, it has to be for everyone or not at all. If somebody hits your car and destroys it, would everybody on the road be entitled to a compensation check from the insurance company? Of course not. But that's what white power does. 100 years ago, black people owned more land than anyone else in America except for white farmers. 14% of America's farmers were black. And yet, over the last 100 years, practically all of those black farmers' land has been stolen by the government through racist maneuvers. This is why we're owed reparations. The U.S. government decided to hand the USDA's authority for financing over to so-called local boards to distribute federal money, knowing full well that these boards are comprised of white racist farmers and their pals who would categorically deny black farmers the funds that they're owed. Now, black farmers have been complaining about this for a century now, but nothing's been done. The government's known all about it. They were the ones who set this up. They were supposed to be handling all of these payments themselves, but in choosing to hand these functions over to local racists, the federal government must also share in the blame. This was the result of their deliberate decision. And while I'm glad to see that the word reparations has been mentioned by a number of these black farmers and their representatives, this also needs to be applied to this situation as well aggressively. The federal government wanted to take black land, but they didn't want their fingerprints on the gun, so they pulled this maneuver and outsourced it to some local hayseeds. In every other case, the feds appoint or otherwise put in place a federal representative to administrate money precisely to keep stuff like this from hindering the process. But in this case, the USDA went out of their way to put this federal program under local, read white racist control. And this is important because the black farmers are also fighting for debt relief that they're also owed, which wouldn't even have been necessary if the government had not allowed white racists to discriminate against them for a century. The legal efforts to obtain the debt relief that these black farmers are owed is predictably being attacked by the very white racist farmers who discriminated against them in the first place. This is white supremacy out in the open. It doesn't get more blatant than this. But then again, slavery was largely about farming, now wasn't it? Those plantations were large-scale farms. And these white racists you see carrying out all of these illegal actions are in many cases the direct descendants of those same slave owners. These attacks against black farmers are part of an overall bipartisan war by Republicans and Democrats to prevent any sort of reparations from coming to bear. This is the entire thing I've been warning you about for years. They were claiming that, well, here's something that's giving reparations to black people, but you're including everybody else. Well, you know, if black people are able to apply for it, that ought to count as reparations too. I mean, it's for everyone. Ain't that what Kamala Harris said? Well, whatever helps black people is good for America, but I'm not going to do something that only benefits black people. No. Talking out of both sides of her neck.
She did
so both at the local level and all the way to the White House, they understand that they can't afford to have any bricks taken away from this wall, especially not at this political moment. So they demanded that any mention of black people be removed, and that instead this is going to be about anyone who claims that the USDA turned them down for money. Now, the debt relief that the black farmers have been demanding, there was allegedly some movement by Congress on this one. And predictably, you have a group of white farmers, the same white farmers who the USDA allows to decide who gets the money and who doesn't. These same racists are suing, claiming that if black farmers get compensated for the harm that these white racists did to them, then those very same white racists should get something. Many of these racists are politicians, by the way. Whenever these other groups are getting something for some sort of harm that was allegedly done to them, whenever other groups get some sort of reparations, notice how you never see black people go into court to try to block it or sue or say us too. No black person ever went to court to prevent reparations for Red Indians or for Japanese Americans or anyone else. And yet it is only when black people are bringing a reparations claim of any sort that we see these white supremacists and their non-white allies mounting lawsuits, screaming and losing what passes for their minds on TV. Why? Because they know that there's a racial pyramid that we call the American social order, and that this pyramid rests on a foundation of holding black people down. And that repression begins and ends with economic deprivation. They all depend on it. And if that changes, then their place in the racial pyramid also changes. And they all depend on this racially stratified society to assign them a position higher than they could ever get on their own. Ed Blum literally couldn't get himself elected dog catcher, and it was his failure to be able to win elected office that made it where he whored himself out as a racist ambulance chaser for bigoted billionaires. And the same thing goes for Chris Rufo. He also tried to be a professional propagandist for the white right and utterly failed. He's failed at everything he's ever tried to do. Were it not for these white think tanks funded by these mega millionaires and billionaires, Chris Rufo would be selling pencils out of a cup on a street corner somewhere. These anti-Black racists are not suspended in midair. This country has manufactured an entire economic scaffolding and support system to hold them up. Those Black farmers earned the money that they're getting, and it's not even all that they're owed. They are owed a hell of a lot more. But those racists who are whining, they're owed nothing because they haven't been deprived of anything. This is like after the Civil War. You got the plantation owners demanding reparations for non-existent harms. And you don't see Biden explaining that white farmers are not owed anything because they haven't been harmed. He's not saying it. He should be. In fact, he's not saying much of anything about this. The real point is to attack any sort of legislation or policy that makes reparations for racial discrimination against Black people. Do you notice how specific I'm being? To give any sort of handout to the very white racist farmers who harmed these Black farmers is an abomination. But this is why the Democrats' rising tide lifts all boats rhetoric is so dangerous. You cannot act as if everyone else has been treated the same as Black Americans, because they have not. We and we alone are singled out. Everyone knows this. The same way they also know that the racial pecking order that all these other non-Black groups depend on for their prosperity and social perks is based on selectively singling out only Black people to be discriminated against and to deny any sort of economic opportunity. This is not happening because these anti-Black racists genuinely believe that there's been harm. It's because for 500 years, they've been shielded from having to compete. And as they've seen in music and sports and media, if they have to compete, they instantly lose. So for them, Black empowerment is an existential threat. And this includes the Democrats. What's happened with these Black farmers should be understood to be nothing more than just the tip of a very large, very ugly iceberg of racial discrimination against Black people in America. It should be portrayed that way because that's what it is. Make it known that this is only the beginning. But that's not been going on at all. Instead, we have Democrats like Joe Biden who have been talking around it. They say words like discrimination, but they don't say who's been discriminated against. And they don't say Black at all. They're not pointing out how the Ed Blums and others have to be shut down and how compensation for anti-Black racial discrimination has to be protected and promoted. He's not doing that. In fact, none of the Democrats are, not even your congressional Black talkers, because garbage like Ed Blum and others are actually working hand in hand with the Democrats. The Ed Blums allow the Democrats to be able to get Black people to let them off the hook by saying they're not for anti-Black discrimination, while at the exact same time allowing the Ed Blums to run around and use judicial lawfare to throw legislative roadblocks in our way. Garbage like Ed Blum serve a very important function for Democrats. He does the dirty work that allows them to have it both ways. Everyone recognizes that the real obstacle here is white fiat. The law is clear. There is no question that only the Black farmers are owed anything. But we don't live under a system of laws. We live under a system of white supremacy, which is the opposite of justice. Instead of laughing the white farmers' lawsuits out of court, instead you've had these gangs of racial ideologues on the bench who Democrats allowed to be installed in the federal courts who have gone along with the scam. Democrats knew full well that there would be a white lash to any effort to pay the legal debt owed to Black farmers, and they knew exactly who it would come from. So where's the policy promise that they're going to defeat these white supremacist attacks? Why aren't Democrats making this a plank of their policy platform? Why aren't they talking about it on the campaign trail or at the DNC convention or anywhere? Why aren't they talking about it on CNN or MSNBC? It's because they don't want this to become habit forming. They've already gotten away with murder as they see it. Yeah, we can go ahead and claim that we did something for Black farmers, but in actuality, we did something for everyone. The anti-Black racial wealth gap is going to be maintained, and people didn't even see it. What I want to see is Democrats making this the litmus test if you want to get a federal judgeship. They should be grilling everyone on this. And they could turn this into the norm. And they know that. The more that you talk about anti-Black racism, the more that you make it where, okay, this is something that has to actually be dealt with. But they don't want that to be the case. They want it to remain on the fringe. They want it to remain on the periphery. It's not supposed to be the core of any political discourse. Now, while it is true that this legislation may have happened on Biden's watch. It's also a fact that it's been in the offing for years. He wasn't the one who proposed it, like he did the 94 crime bill, or as he liked to call it, Biden's law. He didn't sit there and say, you know what, in my capacity as a U.S. senator, I'm going to be writing legislation to make sure these black farmers get what they're owed. He didn't write any sort of legislation like that. And in the White House, he has not used the bully pulpit of the presidency to tell Nancy Pelosi at the State of the Union address or anywhere else, you need to get this legislation on my desk so that these black farmers can be made whole. Didn't happen at all. And before the plants and shills try to pat Biden on the back, why hasn't Biden been bragging about this? He should be, right? Well, he can't because it had very little to do with him in the first place. But he also isn't bragging because he doesn't want anyone getting the idea that he's going to be doing anything for black people. It's far better that black people themselves see it, because they know that Negroes are so used to being completely and thoroughly politically ignored that if anybody even mentions us, we go absolutely apoplectic about it. We're like, oh my God, it's the second coming. They mentioned black people, period. And we never read the fine print, or in this case, we never even bother to actually read the headlines.
Exactly.
We tend to give people all sorts of credit that they don't deserve. You see, other groups understand when their interests are truly being catered to, and when somebody's trying to actually work around their interests. No matter how much money the Israel lobby gets, they always turn around and say, we need more than that. And they're absolutely shameless about it. They don't ever talk about, well, we've actually got a number of deals in place where we're supposed to be getting a certain amount of money for like the next 10 years or so. They don't sit there and go, oh, okay, I guess that's enough. They say, no. However much you've given us, you got to give us more. Black people are the only ones who are told that if anybody even mentions this, oh, well, you're keeping saying that black people should be getting, so, it can't just be about black people. Everybody else makes it all about them. We're the only ones who are told we need to pipe down. And we'll have Negroes in my comment section telling us that, well, black people, you can't just be making it. Black folks ain't really that important politically. You would never have any other constituency, no matter how small, having anybody, any sort of plants, shills, agents, or sellouts coming among them talking like that. But the entire reason we get these paid propagandists and liars who slither their way amongst us is precisely because they understand exactly how much political leverage black people have. We are the swing vote. If we turn out to vote, and only us, we make the difference between who gets into the White House and who doesn't. These other groups, they're already in the tank for the Republicans. Asians in the tank for the Republicans. Hispanics have already gone that way. Black people are the ones who decide who's going to get the White House. But they don't want black people to know that. So instead, they tell black people, well, you just need to do as you're told. Or, well, there ain't enough black people to win the presidency on their own. Hey, stupid. Ain't got to be enough for us to win the presidency on our own. We are kingmakers if we choose to act like it. So one of the things we have to keep demanding, one of the things we got to keep pushing for, is that tangibles for black people has to be a standard part of the American political discourse. Full stop. But Joe Biden, he ain't saying anything about this. He's not bringing this up and saying, I made sure that there's like 2,000. It's 2 billion, Joe. $2 billion for black people. Don't forget to say other minorities in general. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can't reverse 10 years, 100 years, Joe, 100 years of anti-black discrimination with one bill. How many untold billions have these minorities, make sure you say black and other minorities, been denied over the years? We must do more. This is the beginning. We must do more. He ain't talking like that, isn't he? He's not saying anything at all. And Kamala Harris certainly isn't. Hell, she went on the record saying that she's not going to do anything that only benefits black people. So when you start talking about black farmers and what they're owed, she's going to be the first one to say, I'm not going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So she didn't just limit that rhetoric to slavery. It also includes any and everything. So what has to be established for any sort of true reparations is exclusivity. When a government subjects the entire population to the same policy, no matter how odious, that's not discriminatory. It's simply bad public policy. And when a society discriminates against a specific group, but then decides to give everyone access to the same so-called quote unquote relief program, that isn't reparations. In fact, it's not even relief. It's simply a stimulus package. It means nothing, because it doesn't repair or even change the status quo, which is what reparations is meant to do. It's meant to repair the harm done to the aggrieved party. And we must be specific that the harm has been done to black people for generations. Generations of targeted, exclusive economic deprivation that only we have been subjected to. But then again, how can we address the harm when Biden's own agriculture secretary specifically said that the aid these farmers were getting is not compensation for anyone's loss or pain endured? At least he told the truth on that one, though. This is not compensation for the loss or pain endured. Though we are going to get our pound, or rather ton of flesh on that one. What we don't need is controlled opposition. We need uncontrolled justice. Biden should not be getting our vote unless he pledges to combat the racism that we face. Stop treating anti-Black racism as some sort of dirty word. Call it out, say what we are owed, and say this is going to be a standard plank of the political platform.
That's right.
He must admit that these aid programs have been set up to exclude Black people and that we are owed for that, among many other things. And anyone wanting to vote for him, you have to demand it. If not, then what the hell are you doing? As Black people, we simply have to stop settling. Stop settling. See, this is what happens when a group of people have been oppressed and denied even the most basic of things for an extended period of time. What happens is their expectations for themselves, others, and life in general just go through the floor. They get to the point where if somebody even looks in their direction, even with disdain, they just become so grateful for that. Oh, they're acknowledging my humanity. Sure, they look like they're disdainful of me and wish that I didn't exist, but they're looking my direction. I'm not used to that. That's what happens when people have been ignored, mistreated, and all the rest of it for a very long time. They start talking themselves into believing good things that actually aren't there. And this is especially bad when you mix this kind of codependency with politics. Black people have elections totally backwards. They think elections exist for the candidate's benefit. That's what they think elections are about. Elections are something that you do so you can be nice to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for what? I don't know. In reality, though, elections are supposed to exist for the voters' benefit. Elections are not about the public's obligation to put some undeserving bureaucrat into high office. Elections are about the candidate's obligation to justify the public putting them in that office. If you're voting, but you have no idea what you're going to get, or worse, you've decided the candidate doesn't need to do anything for you, then you're doing it wrong. I mean, who other than a total moron would feel good about taking part in a process where there's massive amounts of money and power on the line and everybody's getting something except them? Yet they try to con themselves into believing that they should feel good about taking part in this process because these other people benefited from it. Oh, well, at least somebody got something you didn't, stupid, and you're the one who's owed the most. This is the kind of foolishness that these shills and plants want you to engage in. While I can't stomach Kamala Harris's reprehensible past, it's a fact that she's made it clear she's not going to do anything different in the future. And that's what makes it where I'm not going to support her. And simply continuing to point to Republicans' racism isn't going to change my mind. This is not about trying to get me not to vote for the other guys. In that case, then I'll go ahead and give you that one. Okay, you convinced me. I'm not going to vote for the Republicans. But that still doesn't mean I'm going to vote for you. You got to give me a reason to vote for you. Now, the shills, the DNC plants, the baby boomers, and brain dead bootlicks out there, they don't need a politician to give them something to get their vote. But I do. This is a good thing that the Black farmers got something, but it's not good enough. We need to understand two things. One, it's compounding one injustice with another to give everybody else part of the compensation that only the Black farmers are owed, especially when none of these other minority groups initiated or were even involved in the lawsuits that these Black farmers brought. These other groups have no standing, and they're not owed anything. Certainly nothing compared to the Black farmers. But watch as these other groups are going to be the ones who get the lion's share of that money. And you won't see the feds handing that money over to a Black local panel to distribute. They're going to keep it in the feds' hands. So suddenly the same USDA and federal government that believed in white local control of these dollars, now all of a sudden they believe the locals can't get it right. This is too important for us to be handing it out to you guys. And the second thing to take away from all this is that the credit doesn't go to Joe Biden at all. He didn't initiate this lawsuit. In fact, it was Biden's segregationist mentors who caused this problem in the first place. And Biden spent his entire political career ignoring it. And even today, he only mentions it once in passing, and he doesn't even have the decency to mention Black people at all. So he gets no credit for this. The credit should only go to the Black farmers, the same way that the money should only go to them. But this is only the beginning. And as long as the Democrats refuse to make reparations a front burner issue, as long as they refuse to make exclusivity the cornerstone of this policy, and as long as they refuse to push it to the front of American political discourse, then as far as I'm concerned, both political parties and their shills can buy the farm. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Randy Crank, Christopher Ellis, Javier, Tomorrow Boyd, and Dia Williams. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
All right, Shabaki.
All right, well, yeah, and this is gonna be my last comment, man, because I'm about to hit the pillow. Okay, the professor there spoke the truth, and once the fuck again, as we said all along, Brother Che, for years that we've been doing this, they always try to downplay the brutalization that they committed against us on the plantation system. This was some very, very brutal shit, and I know everybody has seen, if you're conscious that is, have seen that photo of that brother that took a picture of his back of all those ashes and welts that he had on his back. Mm-hmm. How do you forgive such barbarianism? And nobody or no other group in their right fucking mind would. So why should we? You see what I'm saying? This is an insult to our intelligence, because we have been down on a collective basis. And what I mean by on a collective basis, I mean all as one. But keep in mind, we got some sharp people, we got sharp intellectual individuals, you know, within the Black community and what have you, and we all know who they are. You see what I'm saying? And just like what Uncle Phil here says, man, keep remembering them, man. Keep that left jab in their face, you see, because you can best believe in 2028, they're going to be coming with us again for the same amount of bullshit. You see what I mean? Now, the dump, as in human shit, I'm hoping he will crash and burn, is because he's putting his foot in his mouth every damn day that goes by.
Crashing and burning right now. Now, all
that's a wonderful thing.
As long as if Kamala doesn't do nothing stupid between now and November, she could possibly walk into the White House. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, she could. And then keep in mind, though, too, with her being a vice president before the inauguration, after the election, she could fix the Electoral College in her favor. And I wouldn't give a damn if she did or if she didn't, man, because that's all what all these other crooked motherfuckers do. You see what I'm saying? Look at when Baby Bush got elected. What was that there, man? Mac 285, that's right. The dump, as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, too, by the way, Mac 285. To quote another goddamn crook, man, you know what I'm saying, who said that he was not a crook. A crook who says he's not a crook. Damn. You know. Man, y'all should have seen that shit back then at that time. It's just funny in the motherfucker, man. You ought to be able to YouTube it, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the American people have a right to know if their president is a crook. I am not a crook.
He throws a piece on it.
Man. And then, man, and less than 3 weeks after the motherfucker said that, man, ladies and gentlemen, as of 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Gerald Ford will be your president. You don't have Richard Nixon to kick around anymore. Don't have Richard Nixon to kick around anymore, man. Bruh, I mean, the shit is so, Mac 285, the shit is asinine, man. It is so asinine. Obama's fourth term is coming true.
Oh my God.
Sambo, huh? Yeah, you know, man, and the cold part about it is, I'm glad Tricky got busted. You know what I'm saying? An old boy, John Dean, you know, you see up there on Cartoon News Network looking old, the motherfucker. He did about 5 years, man. He did that on a plea bargain, you know? And he got up there and he sang. And then also, too, like they got that classic gap of 18 minutes in his audio tapes, because he used to record all his conversations that he had, like with Ehrlichman, Haldeman, Henry Kissinger, and I forgot the name of the other crooked bastards he had up in there, you know, and the judge, you know, when they was making their mind up to go ahead with the impeachment, right? Is because they call it the Watergate trials, okay? And I think what they was doing was to decide to impeach Nixon's ass. Now, and keep in mind that every president that's been impeached, including Slick Willie, including the dump, including Andrew Johnson, right? No president has ever been convicted in an impeachment. Hell, they impeached the dump twice. Just because he got impeached, the only thing what the impeachment means is the equivalent, man, if you driving your vehicle, right, you get pulled over, man, by the motherfucking police, they give you a ticket, and it says you got to appear in court, right? That's all what an impeachment is the parallel is that you the press, you got handed this ticket to appear in court. So then the U.S. Senate, is the trial, and the impeachment is presided over by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. You see what I'm saying? And no president has ever been convicted. And this crooked motherfucker that you got right up here, he might be the first, but they saying the bastard could run, man, again. Okay? So you're going to have a 34 count convicted felon be the president of the United States. And my last comment for tonight, because I got to lay it down, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a crook. So definitely check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, man, coming up this Tuesday. Okay, Brother Chad, I'll give you a call tomorrow, man. I got to lay it down, man.
Okay, well, thank you for staying up late with us, Shabaka.
Yes, sir. Okay, and thank you for having me. Okay, Lady Che. All right. Okay, Mac 285, man. Yeah, call in too, Mac 285, if you can on Tuesday night, man. The number 516-418-5996 at 6 p.m. In the Pacific time zone, Mac 285. And I think you're in the Pacific time zone too, so it'll be 6 p.m., And then, man, as you...
He's in the Central.
Oh, okay, so Mac 285. Yeah, okay, so it will be at 8 p.m. your time, Mac 285, you know what I'm saying? And we might have Sarge in there, man. And with Sarge, it's never, I know. With Sarge, it's never a dull moment, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll read the hate mail in the chat room and all that old good stuff, you know what I'm saying? And who knows? We might have the devil call in again. You remember that crazy bastard, Brother J?
Yeah.
I'm the devil, man, and all that. All right, Mac 285. And Mac 285, this motherfucker called in saying he was a devil, man. That motherfucker, oh, yes, sir. Most definitely appreciate you if you can. Central, yes, sir, 8 p.m. in the Central time. So, and then, and then the devil come on in, Mac 285. And I'm listening to this simple-minded shit, man. I said, man, this fool on dope, man. You know what I'm saying? And we pushed the eject button on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Man, go back to what you was doing, man. Continue with your booze or whatever, man. But don't come up on our platform with bullshit. I mean, I'd much rather the motherfucker would have got out there and cussed us out.
For you, Kamala, to call in.
Okay, devil.
Why we should waste our time voting for Kamala? What does Sarge call her? Kamala?
Yeah, but keep in mind, but hold on, old Brother Che, but keep in mind when she was younger, man, she was a beautiful woman. You can't take that.
Yeah, Montel know all about that.
And let me say something here too about Kamala. Hey man, if you ever notice her when she wears her pantsuits, you know that she wears tennis shoes with her pantsuits.
Yeah, she's just real awkward.
Yeah, man, that's weird. Here the damn vice president wearing tennis shoes going to formal events. Oh, well, but that's California for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's California for you. Okay, folks, I'm out. So I touch bases with you all tomorrow. Okay.
Good night, thank you for joining us. All right, Lady Che.
Thank you for having me. All right, Lady Che, night.
Night, Shabaka. Let's just put it like this. That weird shit. I think if I ever got into anything like you made it into some position or shit, I go right back to doing what I always do, and not wear dresses.
Yeah,
I hate wearing pants.
Yeah, you would think.
You can't really like just be trying to force me. It's snowing. It's cold. You have to put something on your legs. It's snowing. Put some goddamn pants on, Brandy. It's
Yep.
snow. And I'm like, man, I got boots, I got dresses, I will wear dresses. He's like, it's snow. I said, what I got all these coats for? What I got all these coats for? You know what I mean?
No, y'all can have that snow in Colorado. That shit fucked me
I got
up.
boots that go up to my knees. I got boots with fur. I got shoes. I got everything.
I was
I was
wearing
like,
long johns, 2 pairs of pants, had on a
Yep.
long john shirt, a sweater on top of
That
it, and
sounds
still
about right.
fucking
here when we was
froze.
little, me and my brother, so we're acclimated to the cold.
Well,
Except
I
now that now
Yeah,
I shouldn't be talking all that shit. I stopped talking making hot boy statements because my heart will freeze in the cold.
yeah, I'm like, what are you
It's like I was
talking
making hot boy statements when I was well. Okay, when I was well,
the
I could be
damn
outside.
van was buried in snow. You know what I'm saying?
In
I
the
had
white
to get
boy area of
to the
town,
motel to shovel. I was over there off of Arapahoe, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
off
in
of
the white
Arapahoe
section.
Road.
All you had to do is just go be polite. Them motherfucking white folks would be like, "Oh, we'd love to help you. What's your name?" Shabak. Oh, what an interesting name.
Yeah.
Well,
They see how they want to touch your arms and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're so interesting. What's your name? Shabaka said Corey.
yeah, named after the University of San Corey in ancient
White folk
Mali.
are stupid. They be like,
Okay.
that's such an interesting name. Who named you? Your mother or your father?
No, I named me.
Right.
Well, read a book
Yeah, white
about
folk are though. White folk are like,
Malcolm X, and they'll tell you why I got that name.
They be like, oh, for real?
Read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and it will tell you why I got that name.
They be like, Malcolm X, you don't say. And let me hurry up and get you out this way so you get out of your way because we don't want to hear about no Malcolm X.
No, the X-Men was heavy. I told
One
you.
fucker is like, oh yeah, Malcolm X. Oh yes, I remember. Let me think back on some of his speeches. You know you got to get the fuck up out of there now.
All right, lady, we gotta let Chewbacca go.
Chewbacca's still here. He doesn't hang up.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to hit the leave studio button, so I'll talk with you all tomorrow.
Okay,
All right.
good night, Chewbacca.
Night, Chewbacca.
All right, okay. Night, y'all. Okay.
What was I going to say about
what are
this
your
shit?
thoughts on the black farmers?
Look, you can't trust these motherfuckers passing policies. They're making policies for everybody. It's all inclusive around that part. They don't know how to just do for one. It should like look.
It only applies to us.
They don't.
They know how to do for one when it comes to everybody else but us.
But for us asking for fucking just something, it turns into some bigoted commentary. I personally am thinking about how to devise something like, I'm under the understanding now that you can't until the system is purged of its ugliness, it's already there, and there's replantations of new and improved black minds everywhere in our house seats, in our congressional seats that are on code, that know how to stay on code, that know how to stay, that don't suck the white teat.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't be coddled under the gaze of white mammies and white daddies.
Yep.
They can't be maneuvered. Till that happens, it's gonna be a real difficult thing. I think that as long as you speak to policy so far, you're gonna be all right. Try to get.
Well, Kamala has no policy, so
We got a policy yet. This is the thing though, family. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with y'all. Like, I'm just gonna keep it very, very simple, so you can understand what the fuck is wrong with you.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What have we been doing this motherfucking work for? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we wasn't riding with this wench anytime at all. Now all of a sudden she the fucking the fucking mixed motherfucking horse that we're gonna follow. No, man, she's awkward, she's weird.
Damn
She says
Trojan horse.
she a goofy.
Yes.
Did we forget that bitch is goofy? This she's sitting there slumped over in her seat, talking to Uncle Luke, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Worst motherfucking Uncle Luke. Like, get some strength in you, girl. Like, you better eat your motherfucking Wheaties and don't look them directly in the eye. Okay, like this is one of those things you just don't look Uncle Luke in the eye because that motherfucker trying to captivate you and he trying to enable you to go work at his stable. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Snap out of it.
Right.
And what the fuck, Charlemagne over there fucking lusting and shit. I swear he's still lusting. I need her to talk to the American people like she talked to me, one-on-one. No, nigga, no. We don't need to hear nothing she got to say. She ain't saying nothing to us.
No.
Nobody is, right? Nobody is. And it don't matter what white man she got to balance out the shit. Yeah. Hell nah, man. First of all, this is the fact that you know that she washes greens in the motherfucking bathtub or any kind of sink, like the bathtub sink or the bathroom sink, anything like that is a no-no. It's because she lied about getting greens on the motherfucking plane is a no-no. Just because she talked about Kwanzaa is a no-no.
Right.
She celebrate, even if she's talking about pagan holidays, it's a no-no.
Right.
She knocked off 40 years. She knocked off 20 years off of 40 years. You know what I mean? She knocked off 20. Off of, was it 20? 40 acres. She knocked off 40 acres.
Yeah, 40 acres off to 20 acres. She said 20 acres in a meal.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm
40 acres in a meal.
I was going to say some hot boy shit right there. She knocked this off by 20 acres. That means that it's already like downplaying the motherfucking reparations. She gonna knock off 20 more acres? Jesus Christ. She's just dumb. She's like, I don't want to hear from her. I'm glad I don't want to hear from her. As far as her having motherfuckers turn up and shit, I look forward to the DNC. And the DNC, when the DNC was here, I was outside getting it out. I lived, right? I go for it. I was making bank off them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
How about double up, motherfucker tripled up. You know what I mean? But the DNC is like the motherfucking Super Bowl of fucking politics.
Yep.
They look forward to the ratchetness. You look forward to the motherfucking the stupidity. I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing she has to say.
Right.
I don't want to hear any of our sisters or brothers say that is a black woman.
Right.
I don't want to hear anything like that. I want to hear, just give me some solid truth. This Brahmin ass wench is running for president.
Yep.
She ain't got no policy yet because nobody want to sit down with her and work on that. Right? She hasn't really engaged with any economists because she don't really know who to reach out to.
Right.
Nobody's really helping her on her campaign. That she's just flying in the wind because she's unliked.
Yep.
And not popular. Really, let's be honest, family. Just because of 3 or 4 weeks ago, this bitch was not popular. She was not cracking up every chance we got. We clowned her.
Yep.
We clowned her. We are the worst ones over here.
Yep.
Black Experience, Frontline Black News, and me. We call her every bad name we can get. We can sneak in with Kamala, Chameleon, Kukla. Okay, whatever bad nasty name.
Kamala, Mala.
Mala. You know what I mean? We done called her all kind of ugly names and that shit. Why would we stop now?
Right.
No. So that's it. Listen. She's a Democrat. She's running. Now, let's not get veered on what Trump is saying. Trump, we should be worried about Trump really a little bit. The Nazis, the motherfucking white supremacists, the racists, the motherfucking nationalists. They about to drop their financial support. Camel toe, there you go. See, I call her Kukla, Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Yeah.
I call her Cockmala one day. That's nasty terms. Bad Brandy shouldn't speak like that. I'm a lady. But what I was saying is that when white
she's definitely not like us, Mac 285.
Nah, when white nationalists start taking away their money from Trumpy, you know it's a real motherfucking issue. When you
Right.
got the spokesman for white nationalism talking about he's taking away their bread, if he don't see no motherfucking results, he gonna start stripping back this money for Trump, then you know his campaign is kind of really in bad spirits. When he's about to start saying, look, you done become a DEI all-inclusive fucking theme park, Trump, and we don't support that. It's about to come to that level.
Yeah, because he wants to do something for Black people.
Not I don't know if it's just that.
He
I think
actually
he's
met with Black people though. He's met with Black business owners. He's met with Black people. Kamala ain't met with no Black people except for Blacc.
Kamala ain't down here speaking to the blacks of the streets, cuz.
That's what I'm talking about. I just said she ain't met with nobody except the Blacc.
Trump ain't down here meeting motherfuckers in the street like that either. They snuck in. Have you noticed everybody snuck into Colorado, did a little meet and greet and dipped off?
Yeah.
They came down to Denver. They came to Aurora because there are no motherfucking real Black people or real motherfuckers that want to vote and want to give their vote away. Are gonna be up that ass real hard. Like you're gonna see me and Justin. Wait, what about the Black people?
Right.
You're gonna see me get ready to throw a can of black beans at motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Color police on the nigga. Right. You know, no real shit though. And real note to self, Jesse. Them apartments up the street, right? Guess how much they cost?
$1,800 for a studio. It's $1,800 for a studio, $2,000 for a 1-bedroom, $2,200 for a 2-bedroom. Already look.
He rained on my parade right there, family. I had to look. All right. Well, anyway, I thought I was gonna give him some news today. But it ain't nothing new. I don't think we should get by nothing that broad is saying, and I don't really think we should give our vote to Trump either. Just like he said, we ain't got to give our vote to nothing and nobody. And you gotta get this out your head. Like shake the snow globe loose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. I mean, what they gonna do when they say you didn't vote? Nothing.
There's nothing they can do. All they gonna say, this is your fault. That's all they gonna do. That's all they gonna say.
They've been chastising Black men and Black women.
And that's the next topic.
Every season.
So that's the perfect segue. Thank you, Lady Shay. That's the next topic.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, so the next topic, as Lady Tay just alluded to, simply Black men, Black American men are being.
Brothers, if you get browbeaten by this shit, you deserve it.
Right.
More subject to misinformation, disinformation, because more of them.
All right, so Black American men are being villainized for not supporting VP Kamala Harris.
As usual. Look, man, you're welcome. You're welcome. It takes a real life motherfucker to tell you to lift that fog off your brain and just know that if you're looking for identity politics, you're looking in the wrong spot. If you're looking for policy, she ain't got none yet. If you're looking for the motherfucking border czar, she wasn't there in 3 years. She ain't there now. If you're looking for somebody to save you on these wars and shit, nah. You thought you were gonna pick a better running mate? Nah. You know, she's doing some other shit. And so, you know, you see what it is. It's not even entertaining. If you're watching the rallies, I'm not entertained at all. Once I saw motherfucking Quavo say she stand on business, I looked around and was like, what business?
Right. What the fuck?
What's she standing on, cuz? Like, for real.
While he was wearing his auntie's
he
was wearing his auntie's clothes.
Yeah. I wasn't too much tripping on the Megan Thee Stallion thing because I thought it was a parody at first. I thought she was just joking around, like she was acting real clownish in the beginning. So I thought it was a joke until it was actually, you know, found out a little later it was a real thing. But when I saw Quavo say she's standing on business, I was like, this fool's stupid. What business?
Right.
Open borders, yeah, that's a business if you want to, you call it that. Yeah, they're making big money. flooding the motherfucking states. But I don't know why family, why when you know you should, why this Brandy, why Jesse? I was like, why are you taking your motherfucking political advice from motherfucking Quavo, Cardi B, fucking Megan Thee Stallion, motherfucking Taraji P Henson, anybody?
We're the
Why?
only ones that let our celebrity class dictate to us who to vote for.
It's not even a rip. That's like me saying, BG, guide me to the political light sites. Because I be lusted after BG. I like BG. I love BG. That's my two clips right there. I like
Even though
BG.
he's a
Should I
blob,
vote Democrat or should I ride this red slob wave like you ride? Go red all the way with Trump. What you think, BG?
Yeah, RP to Takeoff. I guess he's the only one that had any sense in that group. Because Lord knows Quavo ain't got no damn sense, and neither does Offset.
He said you're standing on business. That's an us term. You do realize that's an us term. That's a foundational fucking term. That come from T.I.'s old. T.I.'s son made it a little bit. He made it bigger than what it was. You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna play this clip. This lady changes on top. When talk is hot, and we're never gonna get to the video. So
halfway. Won't be long for y'all have to think about going to that poll and electing somebody, right? Whether you want to elect somebody or you want to choose that beautiful couch, you can do that. I want to make sure I can do all my stuff on the backside I need to do. So glad everybody's here. First, 50% of black men were more like Eric Mays. We really can get some.
RIP to Eric Mays.
It would be beautiful. It was 80% of black men that were like Eric Mays. Right. We can get somewhere. But black men are coming along. They're coming along. Black men are waking up. It's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Before I get started, I'm pretty sure you maybe saw that little short video I posted today. I was at the Foot Locker picking up an order for my daughter because my grandson got to go to his school tomorrow. So she was at work. Say, hey, could you get that order for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll go pick it up. So I went over there, and when I walked in there, I'm like, man, it's hot in here. What the hell? I said, I know good when the lights on. So what's going on? And it was a young sister and a young brother in there working. And I'll of course I gave him the information about the order, but I told the little sister, I'm like, what's wrong with the AC? He said, yeah, it's hot in here. I said, how long has it been broke? He said, like since April. I said, April? I said, we almost toward the end of summer, and you still you hiding here. And he said, well, he gave us these fans. I said, these box fans to circulate heat around here. Right. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen? He said, well, I think probably best is just to complain and say something to the district manager. And I seen somebody on that thing talking about maybe we should report him to OSHA. Because, usually when you get the government involved with anything, companies start moving around. But, I'm going to say this much. I'm not going to work in a condition like that. If it's an unsafe condition, and you definitely can tell OSHA, I'm going to look into it. I may report it to OSHA too, because that is a health and safety issue. Air conditioning is a health and safety issue. Some people say, well, I work in here. Well, you know what? They don't have no windows. Most warehouses have some sort of windows, have somewhere where they can go to cool off or whatever, right? And even if you work in a warehouse, you're supposed to have certain things just for, like, once again, for health and safety reasons. You can't have people falling out. You can't have even certain pathogens come in certain areas when it's too much heat or whatever. So, I'm gonna look into that. I may look into that and see if I can report that to OSHA myself. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. But that's wrong. You said that check my RAM when I get an opportunity. Okay, I guess so. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong over here, but I got a lot going on. It is what it is over here. All right. So let me cue up a clip. Let me from a brother. Yes. He's really sick and tired of black men being talked to like crazy. Black men, you are American citizens.
I'm sick of them talking to us like we
black men.
I'm beyond sick of that.
If you're a registered voter, you can vote for whoever you want to.
That's right.
It's called voting rights, meaning you have a right to vote for whomever.
Right.
And you have a right to choose your wonderful couch.
Yep.
You have a right. No one should be demonizing you for whoever you choose to vote for.
Right.
No one should be demonizing you if you choose the couch.
Mm-hmm.
There's no law in the United States of America, whether federal, state, or local law, that says if you don't vote, you go to jail. There's not a one.
I remember they tried to.
So since it's not illegal not to vote, then they're acting like we're gonna go to jail or something if we choose not to, or choose one candidate over another. I want you to hear what this brother has to say, and let's just build on this, because black men are constantly demonized, literally by everybody within our own community too. So let's cue that up. And hear what our brother got to say over here. Let me go ahead and slide it on up. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and get off my chest, because for about the past, I don't know,
Man, you know, we
2
look
weeks
so
maybe,
forward to accident.
I've seen a lot of black celebrities and media personalities and so-called journalists on and insult the intelligence of black men because they don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. They are actively out here villainizing black men for not wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. They think they own us. They think they own our vote. They want us to believe that we have some sort of obligation to them, that when it's right for them, we should play identity politics and vote for her because she's black. And now they're pushing the narrative that we're dumb, that we're uneducated, we're misinformed, we don't know what the f going on. And the crazy thing about it is, it's the complete opposite. The people who are running away from Kamala Harris are the people who are informing themselves, who are researching, that actually know what the f going on, and just not letting themselves be told any god. That's the reality of the situation. So, you know, it's astonishing to me to see it though, where you have these people, they sending out these black women and these bootlicking men, right? The Van Joneses, the Bakari Sellers, the Roland Martins, right? The DL Hugleys, even Plies, and it's a whole bunch of them who are trying to shame black men for thinking for themselves, because that's all they're doing. We're thinking for ourselves. They're just like when a slave owner didn't want you to learn how to read, because once you learn how to read, you have knowledge, and knowledge is power. And that's the problem. No, watch MSNBC. Don't do no thinking. Let us tell you what to think. Huh? Don't you want to see a black woman president? Don't you want to see somebody who belonged to a sorority? Don't you want to see a black woman get sworn in by a black woman on Martin Luther King's birthday? A whole bunch of tokens that don't mean a thing. That's what they want us to vote for. Y'all out your mother minds, man. I was listening to Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley talking about in regards to black men, they not doing the right research. What? Who the f talking to, Ricky Smiley? Exactly. They not doing the right research. So because we're thinking for ourselves, we're not doing the right research. We're supposed to listen to you. That's the right research. And we're going to just keep seeing more and more of this. Joy Reid telling black people, you're going to look weird. What? The 6th grade? Don't nobody give a f looking weird. We worrying about the issues, the economy, our communities, our children, our futures. What the f you talking about looking weird? See, that's that's for weak-minded people. And they just going to keep going, bro. You get all the narratives is going to keep going. Sellout, traitor, you hate black women and all that cool shit. Bakari and Van Jones up on CNN crying and boohooing. Don't nobody give a f. Too smart to fall for that, man. So y'all can keep rolling that shit. We gonna keep standing 10 toes down. The fuck out of here. Love the black man until he wants to think for himself, till he wants to form his own opinion, until he stops seeing himself as a victim, and then he becomes the enemy. And I'm watching this happen in real time. It's happening right now. And all you got to do is keep your eyes open, pay attention, and you can see it clear as day. This shit real. So I'm saying all that to say, if you're an actor, a rapper, a comedian, or anything else, you're not going to dictate our decision by calling us names and trying to make us feel bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our brother there. Now, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cue it right back up. I want you to hear it in its entirety, and then we'll stop it in certain locations because this brother had brought up a lot of points that a lot of brothers are thinking about. So let's go ahead and restart it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and get off my chest. because for about the past, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe, I've seen a lot of Black celebrities and media personalities and so-called journalists make it their business to try to shame and denigrate and insult the intelligence of Black men because they don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. They are actively out here villainizing Black men for not wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. And I said it before, and I will say it again. They think they own us. Yeah. They think they own our vote. They want us to believe that we have some sort of obligation to them, that when it's right for them, we should play identity politics and vote for her because she's Black. And now they're pushing the narrative that we're dumb, that we're uneducated, we're misinformed, we don't know what the f going on. And the crazy thing about it is, it's the complete opposite.
All right, so let's touch on that. Yes, they do think they own our vote. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And the reason why they think they own our vote is, well, if you look at the past 60 some odd years, who do we vote for? We voted for them. So if you keep going to the same restaurant for like 60 years, the owners of the restaurant would probably think you're probably a loyal customer. You're always going to come back. You're never going to leave. You're there every week. You're there for every major holiday. You're there all the time. So yes, the Democrats feel that they own the Black vote. They own it. It's theirs. And if you even have any kind of questions about anything Democrats are doing, that's when the problems start, because remember, they own your vote. They don't feel that way about the white vote. They don't feel that way about the Hispanic vote or the Asian vote or anything else. They feel that they own your vote, own it. And they're hostile toward Black men or any Black people in particular who don't feel that they should just go give all their votes to the Democrat Party. When it comes to Black men, yes, if Black men have any thought process outside of vote blue no matter who, something's wrong with you, brother. Something is wrong. And you would get it from, like you say, other, weak beta males. Because most of these guys that he's referring to in this particular video, most of them guys is not nothing that Black men look up to. Once again, I told y'all, what man is going to look up to Boule Martin?
Not me.
What young man that's 18 to 29 right now will look at Boule Martin and say, you know what? That brother inspires me. Nobody's impressed by him.
Right.
Think about that. That's their representation. Look at Van Jones. What young man is going to look at Van Jones and say, you know what? I want to, by the time I get his age, I want to be just like him and cry on CNN for a white man becoming president.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He cried when he became president.
What person going to look at someone like,
stepped out?
What's another he mentioned? Bakari Sellers, Plies. Who wants to be that? Be such a shield for a party. My thing is, if you're going to shield, at least let the Black community get something out of it. That way we can say, okay, I get why you shilling, because we as a community are getting something out the deal. And Veronica, I see you down there. Thank you for joining the membership. At least get something out of it. All these other groups that's tying themselves to the Democrat Party, they get something out of it. Yep. Asians, and that's the thing. They don't even come out and vote. That's the beauty of it. The Asian community don't come out in mass and vote for Democrat.
Nope.
They don't even hardly vote like that. It's 19 million Asians in this country. They don't vote like that. And yet they got a hate crime bill. But Black folks, there's 47 million of you, and yet you don't have a hate crime bill.
Right.
But they do. Look at the Democrats. They're pro-immigration. And the majority of the immigration is not coming from the African continent. The majority isn't coming from the Caribbean. And surely not the majority of them coming are Black Latinos. I told you this. There are Black people that's in Venezuela. Yep. There are Black people that's in Honduras. Yep. There are Black people in El Salvador, Guatemala, all of that. How is it that if the conditions is so bad in these Latin American countries, where are the Afro-Latinos in the mix of everybody coming through here? How is it that it's not the Black Latinos, the Afro Latinos, why aren't they coming up here to America for a better life? Have y'all noticed that?
Yep.
Even in the midst of this open borders, they make sure not y'all black Latinos, y'all not coming over here. Only the other ones is coming, not you. When the Haitians came over here, Biden was like Trump. Oh, hell no. Get them Haitians right back on that plane, send they behind right back to Port-au-Prince. Yep. They think about it. Remember when the Haitians was on that Texas border? Boy, they wouldn't stop covering that. Oh my God, they're gonna come in. They act like them Haitians was gonna just take over the whole country. But all them other ones on the border, nobody's saying nothing. All the Asians coming through here, all the Chinese coming through here, Russians coming through here. Nobody tripping about that too much, but them doggone Haitians were down there staged, and look what they were doing. We know the Democrat Party is full of anti-black racists. We know this. As black men, we know it.
Yep.
We know that there are anti-black racists in the Republican Party, all through there. We know that. At least with Republicans, I respect their racism. Let me tell you why. And I'm not saying every Republican's racist. No, they're not. But at least they're upfront with it. Listen, I can get along with an anti-black racist that's upfront with it.
Right.
I can talk to that one. Yep. But that anti-black racist that's in that Democrat Party, that's the one gonna smile in your face and stab you in your back. That's the one that gonna smile in your face, and he'll get with that Republican over there that don't like your behind, and they buddies, and they got the same ideas toward you as a black person. But one play the game. Malcolm X told you the Democrats are like a fox. He told you. Malcolm X warned black people about the Democrat Party and how they move way back in the 60s. And y'all still haven't learned nothing, but black men are waking up to this. And black men is doing the most powerful thing that black men could do is move with their feet. I always tell black men, you don't have to beg, you don't have to talk, you don't have to plead. Just get up and walk away.
Right.
That's the most powerful thing you can do. When you have a negotiation with somebody, let's say even in business, and negotiation's not going right or whatever, you don't have to argue all day. Say, you know what, the term's not good, and get up and leave the table.
Yeah.
If you have something of value, then people gonna try to get you back to the table. Walking away is a very powerful thing. And what a lot of black men are doing have say, you know what, we're not gonna be pigeonholing ourselves to this party. Look at the disrespect that black men get in that party. We get disrespected. We are the only group of men they tell to shut up and vote.
Yep.
Shut up and vote. They don't tell white men, hey, white man, shut up and vote. Hey, Hispanic man, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Shut up and vote.
Nope,
hey, Asian man, no, I don't want to hear your issue either. Shut up and vote. They don't say shut up and vote. Do you see the women of those communities coming out there telling them to get in line and follow the women?
Nope.
Do you hear them saying that?
Hell no.
You never hear those women in them other communities talking to their men like that for the Democrat Party. But unfortunately, in our community, we got some women that's just as hella disrespectful to their black man for that Democrat Party. We the only men that's told shut up and vote and follow our women. That is out of line and out of order.
Right.
And a lot of black men not putting up with it, and rightfully so.
Right.
Black men supposed to be the leader in our community.
Right.
We don't supposed to be following the skirt of our woman. Right. We're supposed to be standing up strong, being the leader that God called us to be. God did not tell us to follow the skirt of our woman.
Right.
Now, them beta males you got running around there to follow the skirt of their woman. What woman gonna respect a man that do that? None. It's not in women to respect a man that's following the skirt of a woman. Women respect men who lead, men who create, men that make things happen. That's what women respect. And black American women in particular call you weak in a minute because they expect you to be strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and continue here with our brother.
The people who are running away from Kamala Harris are the people who are informing themselves, who are researching, that actually know what the going on and just not letting themselves be told any That's the reality of the situation. So, you know, it's astonishing to me to see it though, where you have these people, they sending out these black women and these bootlicking men, right? The Van Joneses, the Bakari Sellers, the Roland Martins, right? The DL Hugleys, even Plies, and it's a whole bunch of them who are trying to shame black men for thinking for themselves, because that's all they doing.
All right. So another development though that's been happening. A lot of people in our community is getting real sick and tired of the actors, the actresses, the Boule Martins, the Joy Reid, or like some people call her Joyless Reid. Getting tired of Van Jones, getting tired of Plies. You have to understand that situation that Kamala Harris and them, the Democrats did with Megan Thee Stallion, really set a bad taste in Black America's mouth. And prior to that, the BET Awards set a bad taste in Black America's mouth, and rightfully so. We say, wait a minute, hold on, BET, you gonna put on this filth? Like we don't have no artists out here that can make some decent music? There's a lot of artists that's considered underground, or you have to go searching for them. You're gonna find so many great artists just on YouTube Music or Apple Music or whatever you listening to, right? You can find a lot of great artists just that pop up in your playlist. Say, whoa, who is this person? And they making R&B music. They can make hip hop, neo soul, you know, all those kind of genres. Some people like Southern soul. There's so many people out here making some good music, and you're gonna put that filth on TV. Then when you talk about something political and important, you're gonna get booty shaking Megan Thee Stallion. Booty shaking Megan Thee Stallion has her place. Let her stay in her place doing what she do. We don't want to see booty shaking at the rally, talking about politics. That's not the place for it. It's called a time and place for everything, right? And that was not the time, that was not the place. They always want to think we're dumb. I told y'all this. The white supremacists on the right will say you have a low IQ. The white supremacists on the left will say that you're subject to misinformation and disinformation. Only you though. Not everybody else, only you. Oh, misinformation, disinformation affect Black Americans way more than affect it. Huh? How you figure? According to the census, and I'm not subtracting the Hispanic number, but I should. They say it's 202 million white Americans in America according to the census. But if you minus off, because they call Hispanics white, so they try to throw them in their number, so you minus that off, it's a lot less than that. But shouldn't you be saying white Americans is more subject to misinformation, disinformation, because more of them? Then after that, shouldn't you say Hispanics is subject to misinformation, disinformation, because there's 63 million of them, right? It's more of them than us. So why you ain't talking about those groups? Only Black people is subject to this. Only Black men is the only men that can't think for themselves. Only Black men is the only one that's scolded and talked down to. And it's always these college educated, and let me say this with balance. Not every college educated brother or sister thinks this way. Not every person that's in a sorority or fraternity think that way. So I don't want to put a blanket thing, because I know some of you brothers and sisters that are in fraternities and sororities, and some of you don't even like some of your leadership. You're not getting down with it. I've been thoroughly informed that some of y'all don't want nothing to do with the Democrat Party. Some of y'all on the other side, some of y'all independent, some of y'all on the couch. I've been talked to by many on each side, right? And I like to get education. I like education. I don't know everything, and I'm willing to learn. I told people be quicker to listen, quicker to watch, and slower to speak. Okay? So we go there. So I'm not indicting all of you. Okay? I'm not. But what I'm saying is those that are representing you, those in your leadership, we notice a pattern of this talented 10th mentality where we know what's best for the Black community, not the rest of y'all. We know what's best. And so since we know what's best for y'all, we gonna partner with the Democrats, and we gonna tell them what y'all need, and we gonna get in the Congressional Black Caucus, and when the Congressional Black Caucus, even when Sheila Jackson Lee was still alive back then, they had a meeting with Trump. Trump wanted to meet the Congressional Black Caucus, right? Oh, racist Trump. He wanted to talk with them. Trump was trying to, you want to negotiate. Listen, not Trump. The Congressional Black Caucus just got mad and left. Didn't go back to talk to Trump and try to negotiate something for the black community. Nothing. They didn't try to negotiate. To me, that made me so angry when they did that. I'm like, how dare you do that? We have so many issues in America. You going to get up and leave? That's why I keep telling y'all, the Congressional Black Caucus, all of them need to go and they need to start from scratch. But check this out. The Democrats keep playing the same games. Let me tell you why. We know Sheila Jackson Lee passed away and all of that. Well, so her seat was unavailable, right? So what the Democrats had to do in the 18th district, they had to, see the people who wanted to get the seat just to finish out her term. Then I think they supposed to have, I think November or so, they're supposed to do another election, right? But just to finish out her term.
It's really hot in here too.
These people holding on to the seat so long, they're dying in the seat. Yeah. Sheila Jackson Lee, she knew she was sick. She stayed in the seat.
Where you
Elijah Cummings, same thing. Right. John Lewis, same thing. They're dying in those seats.
Yep.
Dying in them. And they had a debate. I watched the debate here in Houston and all of that with the local media. So then after that, they did a vote with all the Democrats in the 18th district. And out of all the people they had running, they had this one little young brother that was running, businessman here in Houston. I really liked that brother. He was sharp. Younger brother, he was very sharp. He didn't come from no political background. He was a businessman. I said, that brother right there, I like him. And I said, that's the kind of brother you need up there, right? Nope, they want that brother. They set up here and picked Sylvester doggone Turner. Sylvester Turner, the former mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner.
Wow.
And when I seen Sylvester Turner, I said, what happened to Sylvester Turner? He's not looking like himself. Well, I didn't know Sylvester Turner, I think, is in remission. He had bone cancer.
Oh, damn.
And I was wondering, like, why is he looking? You know what I'm saying? So this man is coming off of bone cancer, and he wanted to get in the running for that seat. And even people here are saying, he don't look the same. What's up? And I just put my head down, y'all, and I'm like, these Democrats refuse to pass the torch to somebody younger. You had younger people up there. You had that brother I was talking about, Amanda Edwards is up there. They had this other young sister up there that does a lot of the Democrat, things here. And some of the things that she was saying, I said, okay, yeah, that sister, not all Democrats are on the thing, right? Some of them was talking good. I said, okay, all right, I like that. They had this one lady, the state representative, I think her last name was Morales. She went up there talking about immigration. The funny part was that debate when she was talking about, well, we have immigrants here and this and that. And boy, they started booing her. I said, that's good. Shout out to the black people for booing that. We on the hill talk about that. But Sylvester doggone Turner, I say, man, he was a couple years younger than Sheila, but like for real, that's why a lot of people getting tired of the Democrat Party. Why it has to be, and I know the Republicans are doing it too. I know they are. But we talking about the Democrats right here in Houston. Why? There's so many young people right here that could have did it. But that's why people say, listen, when these people finally get out of the way, and Lord, please, age limits need to be put in and term limits. For real, for real. I mean, I just couldn't believe that. Sylvester doggone Turner. He had enough. He did 2 terms as mayor of Houston. Go sit down somewhere. Why can't they go sit down somewhere? My Lord. Let's continue.
We're thinking for ourselves. They're just like when a slave owner didn't want you to learn how to read. Because once you learn how to read, you have knowledge, and knowledge is power. And that's the problem. No, watch MSNBC. Don't do no thinking. Let us tell you what to think. Huh? Don't you want to see a black woman president? Don't you want to see somebody who belonged to a sorority? Don't you want to see a black woman get sworn in by a black woman on Martin Luther King's birthday? A whole bunch of token that don't mean a god thing.
When they ask you that question, I'm gonna tell y'all how to respond. It hit me today. So when they come to you and say, you don't want to see a black woman president, this is what you tell them. Yes, I want to see a black woman president that comes from the descendant of slaves in America, that comes from descendant of sharecroppers, descendant of the black codes, descendant of Jim Crow, descendant of the civil rights movement. I want a blackity black woman to be a president. That woman, I don't want. I want a black woman, but I don't want that black woman. Right there. Okay? Don't get into the discussion about her heritage. Leave that alone. Right. Just say, I don't want that black woman. I want a black woman, but I want that one. You can even mention a black woman. You can say, hey, I'll take Shahrazad Ali as the president of the United States. I'll take her. We can have her. Just throw a name. Whatever black woman that you like that pops in your head at the moment, right? It could be somebody in your community, right? Whoever you thinking that's a black woman that say some things. Hey, I'll take Sister Donna Farrakhan. She be cooking. I'll take her as the president of the United States. That's a black woman. I'll go vote for Sister Donna Farrakhan all day long. She could be the president. That's a black woman. I just don't want that black woman. I support black women. I would say I do, but I just don't support that one.
I think she passed.
That's it. Because when you tell them that you want a black woman president, just not that one, and you give them a name of somebody else, or give them a few names of other black women you would love to see become president or possible, or if it's a congressperson, maybe your congresswoman is great and she stands on business, you can mention, hey, well, Representative this one, I like her to be president, just not that one. then it puts them back on the defensive at that point, because if you just go off of, well, I don't want her and she ain't really one of us, then now they can try to come at you with something. But just say, yes, I want a black woman, just not that one.
Babe, can we go now?
That's it. Yeah, a woman like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. You want a woman like that, a black woman like that? Sure. You want a black woman like Sister Soldier? Wish a sister like that. Whatever woman you could think of that's a black woman, today that's living. I say it had to be today. I mean, that's where she rested in peace. But a black woman that's alive today.
Jesse.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you really want to play, I say kind of not a joke, but just kind of mess with their head. This is what you say. You know what? Give me Representative Jasmine Crockett, the bad Bill Bush body woman. She could be the president. I just don't want that one. If you really want to mess with them, right? Give them somebody they support, but they're not gonna talk down on. You can do that too. It's another strategy. Yeah, I want Representative Jasmine Crockett. She could be the president. I'm happy with that. I support that black woman. I'm just not gonna support that one.
Like, man,
right? Because you somebody like that really speaks a lot for us like that, like really hardcore, they're gonna try to dismiss it. But that's another strategy. Well, I want Representative Jasmine Crockett. She could be the president.
He definitely put me in the House.
Why can't she run? I'll vote for her. I'm not gonna vote for this one. I don't trust this one.
The House of Representatives.
Jasmine Crockett didn't had a history of locking up a bunch of black men. Jasmine Crockett didn't keep people in prison longer than they should. Jasmine Crockett didn't sit up here and laugh at a black man that got a 50-year sentence. So you know what? Ricky Smiley, give me Jasmine Crockett. I'll go vote. I'll vote for her. That's what you do. Throw it right back in their face.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Let's close it out. Baby.
Well, I voted for Obama. I think all of us, definitely in 2008. Now, 2012, I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for nobody. I chose the couch. But 2008, I did vote.
Yeah.
Keep me at the local level, Mac. Where we be effective, where I'll be, issuing police punishment on a regular basis.
Yeah,
they'll get no due process. Theirs going right in the box.
Yeah.
And asset forfeiture is going right to the community of black folk.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I can take, sell it to cash, go right back to the community. of Black people. And that would feel like a little bit of justice for us. We start getting some little monies in our pockets, we'll start feeling better. And especially when we see them not getting no due process, there's no court of public opinion, there's no court, they're just going straight to jail. And in the worst cases, they go straight to no PC. You going right into general population with your crime written right on your back, like you did this. That they can be they can receive due punishments. As they're
Yeah, but
served.
they still got to receive due process.
I'll
I mean,
take that out.
it
That's part of
sounds
what
you can't take it out.
he said. It sounds good. I
It's in
can't
the
take it out.
Constitution.
But in my perfect world, I would have took out the due process and them motherfuckers go right to a box. And asset forfeiture. I talk about asset forfeiture all the way down the chain of command.
Yeah.
Talk about you, your bitch, your mama, your fucking daddy, your daddy's family, your bitch's mother, father, their siblings. I'm taking everything. I want to take everything. Only for the simple fact that that's what happens
Yeah.
when you take Black people. You take them off the map. You destroy the economic process. I mean, just like when Black people marry outside their race, it's just like excuse me, Dr. Umar says.
Yeah.
And when one dies, then that economics don't go back into the Black community, goes over to the other side's community, and that we cannot have no more.
Yeah.
So, those are like over here at this house, we live 24/7 Black experience. That's how I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a never stepping down from it. We talk to other races, and at the end of the day, push comes to shove. Some of them have dual alliances, and they will always slip back over to the human side of things. Whereas over here, you live by it, you die by it, you breathe it, you live it. If you could say, so it's like it's just like that one song, Black. Everybody wants to be Black, but nobody wants to be a nigga,
Yeah.
right? But when you live the the full Black experience from the time you started living it till now, and you choose that we're at war, and there's no going back, regardless of multitude of mixture. Like in my case, I don't know what it's like to live on that side of things because I just don't. There's never been a welcoming. It's never been a welcoming experience. Um, I have had. I take that back. I've had a few moments with white people just recently. As a matter of fact, just recently, as of yesterday, where one or two of our friends came out I would say our friends, more like people we know
Yeah.
that are friendly, that came out of nowhere to be uh, supportive, and that was a change of pace. However, that doesn't really change the way I feel about it because
Mhm.
as grateful as I am in a time of deep, 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 deep upset. At the end of the day, we know that if war comes to, if we're really at war, we have to choose our sides,
Yep.
and we'll just meet each other on the battlefield, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can just keep it pushing past each other. Um, However, I'm committed to when I make up my mind, I make up my mind. We've been at war. Um, I said that over 3 years ago,
Yep.
and I
Right.
haven't turned back since.
I've been saying it for at least 5 years.
Yeah, I haven't turned back since. You can't convince me that I've had an other than Black experience. If you know me personally, you know that's how I live in my personal life. Let's the cameras come off. You think it gets any lower or less than. No, it probably gets worse. Because I just stay hyped 24/7. I'm just amped. You know what I mean? Because um, we are the signal boosters for the new Black media, and we are the signal boosters for Black Colorado, whether they want to believe it or not. Until a more worthy um, voice comes out, and I'm not saying that there is a worthy voice here, and that's Sister Vicky Dillard. But until she's out and about, moving around Denver and Aurora and really talking to us over here in the city, I volunteered to step up to the plate because I'm codified, qualified. I know it's being asked of me. I know what we're fighting for, which is reparations, cash based reparations, lineage based reparations. Um, I know what we need, which is a crime bill, amongst other fucking very serious fucking needs. And I know who I'm fighting for, and that is us here. That's the foundational Black Americans, descendants of chattel slavery, all the way to the killing fields of the South. Um, so in my mind, I'll take all that on, and I know that I could get arrested. I know that I could be harmed for my beliefs. I know that as hard as I go, somebody could say something to me. They tell me shit all the time. I just ignore it because until someone can cover the ground like I cover the ground and speak like I speak, other than Vicky Dillard, as I said, gotta keep saying other than Vicky Dillard, a sister here that isn't going to flip flop around because that sister don't flip flop. Sister Vicky Dillard stays on one mindset. She doesn't change up. She doesn't switch up. And she changes her mind. She gives the facts of it. She gives quality education. So that's not a flip floppy sister. That sister's straight on code
Yeah.
in all 9 areas of human activity. So that being said, until another sister, a more melanated sister that lives by the code, talk about the compensatory code,
Yeah.
that can understand what we got going on here in the city of Colorado. I volunteer, and or that's until I speak my last breath, or someone else is better than me and says, "All right, Lady Che, go ahead and sit it down. I got it from here. This is my qualifications. This is who I am." And then you know me, I'm gonna vet the fuck out that broad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we need the best representation um, for Black Denverites, Black Aurorians, Black Coloradans, period, that aren't, you know, gonna sidestep in, do with white supremacy and the benign neglect and the acceptance of. Once you decide that you want to shill for Democrats or Republicans, and you don't care about the people that you're hurting, you're an enemy
You're
to
an enemy to our people. Period. Yeah.
our people. So with that being said, thank you Jesse and Mac and Chewbacca, um, for Frontline Black News. Heavy program today. So we'll see you later on this evening for round 2.
Yep.
After we get done with
City council.
city council. So yeah, we have city council this night or this afternoon. We need some rest. So get some rest and thank you everybody.
Yep.
And
Yep.
call me in later on in the morning. Just I'll message you.
I'll try, Lady Che. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. But I'll try. All right.
Bet. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning into this episode of Frontline Black News. Season 4, Episode 20, Part 1 of the Frontline Black News. We'll be back later on with Part 2. Like Lady Chage saluted after City Council. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Black News with a double C on YouTube and Facebook. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter, now X, and join us this Tuesday for a brand new episode of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. So peace, love, light, reparations and separations, and Black empowerment. Chan Kruma signing out from the Mile High Income City on the east side, otherwise known as Northeast Park Hill. Peace.